Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome to Xbox Ultimate Podcast. This is episode number 90, and we have an awesome guest today for this show. We're going to have a lot of fun. We had to kind of come up and dig for some topics a little bit because guess what? We're in the dead zone. We're in the quiet zone before the storm is coming in a few weeks here, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to have some fun. Maybe it'll be a shorter show. It's Pong's birthday today, so maybe we're going to kind of have a shorter show and maybe play some games later if we can convince him to play some games tonight. I don't know for his birthday, but we'll see. But shout out to the chat. Thanks to everybody who's here nice and early for this, and we'll let everybody pile in. I did forget to tweet out that we're live. I need to make sure we do that too. But hey, we'll get started with our special guest for this episode, and he's been here I think a couple times now already on the show. Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap, who's an amazing person in the community, always great opinions, very well-rounded gamer, I would say. PC first, probably, but doesn't mind playing on PlayStation, probably. Doesn't mind playing on Xbox, kind of has great opinions on everything. What's up, Slow-Mo?
I love the kind words, Mav. I don't always get those kind words from
and podcaster extraordinaire with DPS Podcast, which is a great podcast, I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah, we had an episode last night. Shout out to my co-host, Gaming Forte. He held it down. We had it on his channel. We normally go back and forth between his channel and my channel every other week. But glad to be here. I like to drop in on you guys when I have the time and see what's going on. And usually I try to avoid Pong's outros because they about half the show itself. But otherwise, I'm always trying to drop in, lurk in the chat, see how because you guys have great conversations. I really enjoy it. So again, glad to be here, glad to see you guys, and Pong, happy birthday, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
How are you, 45?
47 today. 47. Okay. Yep.
Fuck, man, it's so old.
True story.
It's okay. It's not that old. I mean, you're 8 years older than I am.
Wow, you're old too, Mev.
Yeah. It seems like you got the spirit of a 25-year-old, Pong.
That's right. That's what gaming does for you.
But the
never
knowledge,
get rid of the kid.
The knowledge, the wisdom of a 47-year-old.
I don't know about that.
Okay. And here, as always, is the very extraordinary AssassinLupa. What's up, Lupa? How you doing?
I'm doing very, very fine. Thank you very much. I hope you're all well too. Chat, looking forward to some great times. Guess what, chat? It's Friday. It's Xbox Ultimate. Let's get it on, baby.
Absolutely. Let's get it on. The always fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzz?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here. Glad we got Slow-Mo on here tonight. And
Fuzzy.
And some interesting stuff to talk about today, so let's get into it.
Yeah, we kind of have this might be an interesting episode because we are taking a look back at the first half of 2022. So Jasper was joking this will be the shortest topic ever. Before we went live, but we'll see. And then we do have the realist himself, lore master Jasper. What's up, man?
It's going pretty good. Just been kind of watching all the new TV shows that dropped last night, so I haven't been doing much today.
Yeah, we were talking about Stranger Things a little bit, right? Digging it so far, I have to say.
That and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that first opening of that first episode though was kind of hard to watch, after recent events and stuff. But it's after you got past that, the show, absolutely amazing. And then here's this guy that's got this birthday today, and he's an awesome dude, and we just like having him here, for kind of we just like to let him hang out with us every once in a while because he's been such a he started out in the chat, and he was like, hey, what's up, guys, I really like your show. He's like, can I give some thoughts every once in a while? I'm like, okay. Right on. And he just stuck around for 90 episodes almost now. So
it's not even close to what happened.
I know it's not. I'm just kidding.
Okay, all right.
MVP maybe of a lot of the stuff that we do here. The one and only Pong Soul, encyclopedia of gaming dating back to the very first game ever created. What's up, man?
Hey, man. That was a hell of a story you just told.
Yeah.
Hey, look. No, I am happy and excited to be here. Look, it is my birthday. Love hanging out with my family. We got Slow Mo here tonight, which, I just enjoy what you guys do over on DPS. You know that. And obviously, watch you guys all the time over on Luca's channel as well on Scumcast. So,
Awesome,
Slow Mo.
awesome.
You know that. It's an honor, man, to have you here with us tonight. And look, I'm just happy to be celebrating my birthday with you all in the chat and all these amazing people in the community. Thank you for all the kind wishes today out there. And look, we don't have a whole lot of topics, but we actually do have some cool stuff to get down into because this industry never, ever stops. It's the golden age, people. So let's get down to it, Mav. Let's talk some gaming.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Get to the super chat real quick from Chris Jones. It says, "Happy birthday to Pong. Happy birthday to Pong. Happy birthday, dear Genghis Long Dong Pong. Happy birthday to you, brother."
Oh, Mo.
Yeah, Genghis Long Dong Pong. That's appreciate
Wasn't
the
anticipating
$10
that.
No. That's something that Lupa created, and now it's carried over to other people.
Long Dong Pong.
And I came up with Genghis Pong when I was playing Crusader Kings 3. So that was, he combined the two there, Slow-Mo. So some backstory for you.
Yeah. Now I was gonna sing Happy Birthday to Pong before we went on the show, but I was informed that it's actually copyright owned by Warner Brothers, and they actually go after people for singing Happy Birthday, which is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard before in my life. But it turns out that it's
no,
true.
Ludacris doesn't sing this.
Luda.
Happy birthday to Pong!
Actually, Ludacris has nothing to do with that, Mav.
Actually. Are you down with the 310s and then sorry. All right. Pong Soul. For real though, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Yay. You're 47. You're old as fuck. Happy birthday. Yay. All right, that's the
Boy, that's TGI Fridays. That's
Is
good.
it?
I like
Fuck,
that.
I'm gonna get sued by them now.
That's worse than TGI's. Isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, chat, you guys rock. Thanks for hanging out. Nice and early here. So y'all want to talk about this? Let's talk about this new Star Wars sequel that was just revealed. It was kind of leaked before, but Jedi. It was Jedi Survivor. Is that the name? Jedi Survivor.
Yes,
right?
Jedi Survivor. I think it was Jeff Grubb that leaked it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Correct.
now it's official. And it looks like the trailer looked pretty cool. I mean, CGI trailer, right? Not getting much information there, but I would think we would assume it's going to kind of look like the first game quite a bit. Maybe continuation. Do y'all think there's any kind of meaning to the word survivor here? Do you think there's going to be a difference in the overall style of gameplay, or
Order
No.
66? He's a survivor.
Oh, I know that. Besides, I mean, I mean, like, do you think there may
Well,
be
this
more
one takes
survival elements?
this one takes
potentially in this or
place.
something?
This one takes place 5 years afterwards, right?
Yeah, after
Yes.
Fallen Order, yeah.
After Fallen Order, so now he's more trained. It's kind of like Luke when he shows back up
Yeah.
right after Empire Strikes Back and also Return of the Jedi. He's got a lot more control over his force use and that kind of stuff. So I imagine that we are going to see some new stuff there. But I think it's just probably more along the lines of the first one, where he is now being hunted. And they take him seriously this time. Like before, It was kind of like, we got this lone kid who's trying to be a Jedi running around, and we kind of got to make sure he doesn't get out and we got to stop him. But now it's kind of like the focus is on him, and that he's a real threat to what the Empire is trying to do here. And I think that's what the change is going to be here.
Yeah,
agree.
Maybe also him looking for more Jedi or trying to reconnect with other people that are force sensitive.
So maybe they just named it that so they could have the Destiny's Child song, as the opening. I'm a
If they do
survivor.
that,
when he's in the ship, traveling, that's what he's listening to.
He's just like,
some
yeah,
Destiny
let's go.
Child.
It's Disney. I would not doubt that happens with Star Wars.
well, the first game they had some pretty good Star Wars music. They went to that Mongolian band or whatever that did Star Wars music, and
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, I think what they're probably going to do is the gameplay would be, especially when you have such a game that was so well received and people really enjoy the gameplay. You don't You don't change too much of that. I think that what they want to do is just kind of expand upon it, add, maybe a couple of, bells and whistles here and there, maybe some flashier attacks or build out skill trees a little bit more deeper. Hopefully my only real complaint with the first game was that the Wookiees' legs looked like I don't know what the heck was going on. Like, no Wookiees was malnourished or something. Like their legs look like stiff, man. I ain't never seen no Wookiees look like that. They were like like hair was coming off of them. I'm like, these are some sick looking Wookiees. They gotta
That's
fix
what you
the
took
Wookiees.
out of the game.
They got to fix some Wookiees and they got to fix the map, right, Slow-Mo? They got to fix the map as well. The map was
well, I think part of their idea with the map was to kind of make it, because it was confusing sometimes, but then also it was like they wanted you to do backtracking and they wanted it to be kind of like that, kind of almost like a Souls-ish feel of a map where you're kind of like moving around and going to different places, a part of that map. But no, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I'm joking about. I'm not joking about the Wookiees. The Wookiees look sick, but as far as like visual stuff, like I'm pretty sure it's gonna look better. It's advances. It's next gen only. It's current gen only, I would say. So I love that. I was really hyped to see that it's not going to be a cross gen game. Therefore, they can really take full advantage of the hardware that's available, which isn't just mean, oh, we're going to get ray tracing or something like that. No, this means that like we're going to get bigger maps, more enemies to fight on screen, a more complex AI, all that stuff that really gets hindered when you are trying to build a game for the lowest common denominator, which is trash Jaguar Core CPUs on a Xbox One VCR and PlayStation 4. So I'm hyped for it though.
I read some comments too. They talked about the lighting being especially much more effective because they can go to real-time lighting now without having to worry about the last gen consoles there. So I think that overall the feel is definitely going to be more current gen than anything that we saw out of the first one, which is good. I mean, again, I can't wait.
Have that like lightsaber glow in like a dark cave or something. You see it like illuminating. Yeah, that could be
that'd be
badass.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the bounce lighting, yeah.
Correct.
So, what I was kind of thinking, like just hypothetically, right? I mean, is there potential that they could add some more like survival game type elements to this as part of like, kind of like a double entendre with the name at all? Like make it bigger in scope and then kind of make it, hey, everything's against this guy, and put him kind of like at some point stranded or something, and he's got to like, I don't know.
I don't see the gameplay changing too much. I think the survivor aspect is kind of like the overall sense of the game. Like he's a survivor and he's trying to like just survive, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
I'm
thinking of hoping for me, like just because like the first game I liked, but the whole Souls-esque formula kind of throws me off sometimes in some of these games, I get like in this repetitive nature type deal when if I beat my head up against a wall over and over again, I can kind of lose a little bit of patience, and that happened a few times with Jedi Fallen Order, and it's just a kind of a Souls thing for me.
Were you playing on easy or are you playing on hard? Or
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Probably the hard.
Because you could make it really easy and you can make it really hard. So
right, I think it's probably playing on hard.
Mode.
I was playing the one down from Jedi Master, and it does. There's parts where it's me too. I get pissed and I refuse to leave the area until I get so frustrated that I quit. Right, because I won't just go somewhere else. I just want to beat whatever I'm trying to beat first, and it's like, no, I shouldn't probably do that. I should probably go somewhere else.
Well, that's an in-game boss. I'll beat it level 1.
Story-wise, it's really cool though. Now after like it came out with the next gen update, I tried playing it, and now I'm like stuck with like. As the last time I launched it, I'm stuck with some kind of bug. So
I think you just don't know where to go.
No, man, I'm up on the top of this building, and there's enemies all around me, and they're just standing there, and I can't go in the door. I mean, they're just standing there, like around me, not doing anything. Like frozen.
You can't kill them.
Oh, that is definitely a bug. Yeah.
I can't kill them, and they won't shoot at me. Nothing. They're just standing there looking at me, and I'm like running around, like, okay, where am I supposed to go?
Can you go back to like a previous save or something like that?
I'm gonna have to look at it, and see. Yeah. It's almost been like 6 months since I've even attempted to play it now.
Fallen Order was a bit buggy. I played it on PC, and man, it had a lot of bugs. which I wasn't shocked by that because Respawn is a studio that is known for first-person shooters, and this is their first foray into like a third-person action adventure game. So I kind of figured, even though that they did create a whole second studio and got a lot of people in devs who have been familiar with making these kind of games before to make this game, I did fully expect them to kind of like have some pitfalls and have a little bit of a buggy mess. Hopefully I mean, that's kind of sucks that there's still outstanding bugs, even though this game came out like what, 3 years ago.
It's probably a very rare
Yeah.
thing, and it could be a situation because of I wasn't like I'm probably like halfway through, and where I was, it just with the update and everything, it could have been something that happened because the game was updated and patched where I was or something like that. Like I don't really know what happened, but we'll see. Maybe it's fixed now. Like I said, I haven't played it in forever, so. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good game. I think that it got shafted from a lot of people that put it as kind of like a game of the year type category with story and gameplay wise. I could definitely see how it could be there, even though if it wasn't 100% click for me, you know. I wonder if this one's gonna potentially get more attention. Did they announce a release date?
I was just gonna say. They said 2023. I was just gonna say, yeah. I was just gonna say, no, it's gonna get overshadowed again next year.
Next year is gonna be insane.
Next year's loaded.
Yeah,
I mean, next year's freaking loaded.
It might stand a chance. It's just like you said, it is going to be loaded, but 2023. You never know. Some other games might move out of its way, type of deal, considering it's a Star Wars IP. So
it's hard to tell what's really going to come out in 2023. I know that this game, based off of the NVIDIA GeForce leak, was supposed to come out later this year. So they kind of even though they never announced it. It being announced in 2023 means they kind of like internally delayed it, so it probably has a better shot at releasing next year than other games. But I mean, like, we know there's like Starfield next year, there's Redfall next year, there's there's a lot of
God of War,
Breath of the Wild 2.
I think God of War's coming out this year. I think we're gonna
God of War's this year.
Y'all think
Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next year?
Final Fantasy 16 is going to hit this year or next year?
Say again, which one?
Final Fantasy 16. I think this year.
I think that's coming next year. I think that's going to be. I think Square Enix is going to have Forspoken this year, and then kind of stretch, like, get some space for Forspoken, and then do Final Fantasy 16 next year. But
I think they're going to launch Forspoken on top of God of War slow-mo.
I think they're going to try to avoid. Look, this is my theory. My theory: God of War is August or September. If Forspoken is like November, that's my theory.
I thought Forspoken had a release date of the 28th of October, the same as Call of Duty, right?
Does it have a release date?
Yes, I believe he is correct on that.
Yeah. Oh boy!
Yeah, well, they're going to move that.
They're already
going to move that shit.
They're already just killing their own game. They're just like, no, we don't care. Just everything. It's fine.
I mean, is Forspoken gonna really click? You know, anyway, though, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I've been excited for it, but I don't think most people are. Most people looked at the trailers and said, "Meh."
I was hyped until I saw the gameplay. When I saw that gameplay from IGN, it was like 8 minutes of gameplay, and I just saw her running around in the circle with like the gremlins chasing her, and she's like doing weird spells up in the. I was like, this is not what I thought it was when they showed the trailer. The trailer was very parkourish, high energy, flying across the world. Yeah, the world's very empty, and I think, I don't know, like, maybe it was just a bad showing, or whoever was playing the game didn't have a clue what they were doing, but that game did not look like what I thought it was going to look like.
The spells is what grabbed me, though, Slow-Mo. The spells and special effects on screen were, when she was using them in combinations, was pretty damn impressive. I mean, I got to say, like, it was right there with the Final Fantasies. So
but it's just the whole she's running around in a big empty circle, in a big empty circle filled with a bunch of gremlins, like just chasing her after. I was just like, what is happening?
That's one of those games that I feel like the first time we saw it, we were like, whoa, what's that? And then every time they've shown it since then, it's like the hype kind of declines just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, the city and the boss battles all look good. They look populated. Like Slow-Mo said, it was when she got outside that people were like, there's really nothing out here. What's going on with this? Like, she was running and there was nothing. There was fields and trees. and a couple mountains in the background, but that was it. Like that's where she was traveling.
Better graphics journey.
Right.
Yeah.
No, like is that a timed exclusive though? Is that a full blown exclusive? I mean,
It's timed.
Probably 2 year at least.
2 year.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many of those 2 year deals right now.
But it's Square. We might never see it on Xbox.
That is PlayStation. That's what they're doing right now. I kind of honestly wish Xbox would have done some of that to fill in the gaps here with their lineup, because we're gonna go over this 2022 so far, and maybe it'd have been nice to have a couple things in there, even if it was time.
It wasn't October 28th, by the way. It's October 11th, is what I'm reading.
Okay.
So
right, okay. Shout out to Chris Jones
before Call of Duty stomps it.
Yeah.
$5 super chat from Chris Jones. Appreciate you. Says, don't know if you noticed, Pong, but we won that poll about Mav and JRPGs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, of course we did.
Complete bullshit poll, I have to say, Chris Jones. Thank you for that. And also, Psycho.
Nobody believes Mav ever played JRPGs.
Smiling face sunglasses sticker. Thanks, bro. I hope you have. Psycho's going to Dave Matthews Band concert tonight, so we'll see Psycho. Probably won't hear from him for a few days. Until we get really worried and we start calling people near him and be like, hey, have you seen him?
I slept for like 36 hours, man.
What happened last time? We're like, he was like, what day is it? Like,
right.
Did we? He was like, is it Xbox Ultimate tonight? And I'm like, it's Wednesday, dude. What are you talking about? But he makes sure he catches, like, it seems like 5 Dave Matthews Band concerts a year. I don't know how they tour his hometowns like so damn much, you know. But yeah, shout out to Psycho. Hope you have fun tonight, man. So yeah, I think overall, like, this Star Wars game looks really cool. Jedi Survivor. I think that it's good to see a continuation of these like single player focused games too, especially from like EA, who's known as like microtransaction central, you know, and so it's good to get both, right? You got the whole EA sports stuff, and then you got also single player stuff. So this is good. We can get some of this as well, right? Do y'all know who that freaking guy was in the aquarium with the mask on? You know,
no
back
clue.
The tank.
Was that a guy or was that a girl?
I think that was a guy.
They showed nipples, right?
Okay.
So I don't
very
think they would have
broad
showed nipples on
shoulders.
the...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was watching it on my phone, so I could not tell.
It looked
I
like
was
the dude from Mad Max, like the Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool. So nobody knows who that is, like, at all.
Mm.
Do you think it's a good guy? I mean, it seems like he is
I
a
haven't
good
really
guy.
looked much. I just watched the trailer. I didn't look into it too much, but
Some kind of...
I don't think it's a good guy.
Yeah,
You don't think so?
I
No.
would say he's probably a
Experiment.
former Jedi that's been converted, kind of like
Yep.
Vader. So
Right. Oof.
Or the girl from the first game.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the girl for the first game, or like Star Killer from Force Unleashed. You know, they grow.
Yeah, I
the
think they're
Empire's
probably
the
gonna-
Empire's been into experimenting with people, right, and
Yeah.
trying to create the ultimate weapons through the use of Force. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like
I think
that.
they're going to go into some of that stuff that made Uncanon. They're going to try to bring that back into it a little bit. So that's probably where he's coming from.
Maybe that'd be nice. You should just install all the canon, and everything would be back to normal again.
Right.
I see
That gives
Lupa with the membership message there saying, happy birthday to my friend Long Dong Pong. Showing off that
Thanks,
gold badge
Lupa.
also, Lupa. I'd noticed the last few days, we're starting to have some gold badges here for members for over a year on the channel now. Absolutely blows my mind. So thank you to Lupa and everybody for all the channel members, anybody who's just hanging out. Appreciate any likes, shares, or whatever. Help grow the show. Thank you all. So yeah, I'm excited. 2023, man. I wish this was a 2022 game. I really do.
And Grubb said that this is February or March, so
Okay.
that's what he's hearing. So
Well, shit, isn't
Okay,
everything
early.
supposed to be February, March now at this point?
yeah,
You know?
yeah, we're back to that again. Yes.
I think that's more of a placeholder. Usually, when they don't have a solid release date, they always go, middle of the first quarter. We'll shoot for that, and then we'll see what happens. Because I feel like the last couple of years we've seen games that is always like sometime around in the fall. We're like, man, February next year is going to be stacked.
Well, this year was. right?
Well, yeah, this year might have been the only year where it just remained staff. I think the year before it was like a lot of games, and then a lot of them started to delay out. And even this year, like Saints Row was initially supposed to be February, and then they delayed out. I feel like there was another game as well that. Oh wait, there was a game that moved up too. I can't remember what game was that?
Sifu moved up. Like it was pushed back to February, and then it like the 22nd, and I think they moved it up to the 8th or something like that.
Yeah. So I think that I think it's more of a placeholder, it seems, and just to feel out how things are. I don't think a lot of games, at least especially the bigger ones, really care about other games that are around them, but they really just care about making sure that the game is ready and that it can reach gold and not be a huge mess when it comes out. So we'll see what happens, but
and I'm pretty sure Respawn's pretty confident that they're going to be considered one of the big games, even if there's another one there, with the hype that the last one got and all of that, and everybody looking forward to this one. I think they'll be confident no matter what when they finally decide on that exact date. I think that they won't move for anybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's get into this. Like, we were looking at last year, last 6 months of last year was really strong for Xbox, right? Like, you had several releases. You had Psychonauts 2, and you had Forza Horizon 5, and you had Halo Infinite, which had I think a fairly good, decent launch, where a lot of the problems became with Infinite, with not updating the content as regularly as people had hoped, and some issues with monetization and the way they're handling a lot of that stuff, and those issues continue. But going back to looking at the end of last year, there was a lot of still positivity, a lot of good things at the end of 2021. So because we got this whole Bethesda showcase, we got this huge games blowout showcase week coming up between the 9th and the 13th or so of this month. It's kind of like this dead zone now, and what better time to kind of take a look back at the first half of this year and see kind of where we're at with Xbox, and see maybe what's on the line here for the showcase, see what they could potentially have in store for us. But more so, like, I want to kind of grade the first 6 months of Xbox and in 2022. Now, we have it's not 100% halfway, because by the time it's halfway, it'll be actually right in line of the showcase. And we're not going to be doing that at that point. We're going to be talking about all the new games and all the excitement and all that kind of stuff. So there's not a whole lot coming in the next couple weeks anyway. So I figure we kind of take a look right now, go back and say, what did Xbox have in store for us in the first half of 2022? Now, I went to go look and see for any first-party games, and there was none. So we're going to go and look at Game Pass, because Game Pass was pretty much the exclusive for Xbox the first half of 2022. And was this enough for the first half of this year? Are people content with that, or do you think?
Well, they got smaller exclusives, like they got Crossfire, but I mean,
I tried to erase that out of my memory, but it's not technically first party, right? Because I don't think it was not published by Microsoft.
No, Smilegate republished it in the end.
Was Tunic? Exclusive?
Tunic was March, and Nobody Saves the World, I think, was January. So those were like probably the two biggest indies that were exclusive. You had other indies in there, like Weird West, I think, was in there as well, but it wasn't exclusive to Xbox. And then there's another one, and I can't remember right now.
I kind of got
Nobody Saved the World was a pretty decent one.
So
they didn't. I think as far as exclusive goes, those were probably it. But they did have some games that were multi-plat but launched in Game Pass.
Like Rainbow Six Extraction launched in January on Game Pass day one. That was a nice surprise, actually. We didn't find out about that until a couple weeks or so before it hit, and I had a lot of fun with that. Now, it didn't really take off 100%, but it did fairly decent around launch time. I think a lot of people that did play it enjoyed it. You had some people dive in, I think, expecting more of a run and gun type experience and kind of be like, I don't know what this is, but I know me and Pong and Steel played the shit out of that game for a couple weeks and really had a blast.
Better than expected.
Yeah. So That one for me, like I chalked that up as, hey, that's a good thing. You know, hit Game Pass day one. That was a great time there. We've had other games come into Game Pass, like Death's Door came in right around that same time. Nobody Saves the World. I think that was a day one game as well, right? Nobody Saves the World into Game Pass. The Hitman trilogy hit Game Pass on the 20th as well. I mean, early on, you know, you're looking at a strong freaking like January timeline because Death's Door, Hitman trilogy, Nobody Saves the World, Rainbow Six Extraction.
When they spent $70 billion.
Yeah, you had the Mass Effect Legendary Edition had finally come to Game Pass. You know, you had Rainbow Six Extraction. Then Rainbow Six Siege hit PC Game Pass. I mean, just really strong. And then Crossfire happened on February 10th. So that was a thing.
Yeah.
Man, if that game had actually been good, that would have been great. That would have been a great thing, you know? But it wasn't. So we just got to
You kind of saw the writing on the wall with Crossfire.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they try to distance themselves.
The marketing, the marketing fell off a map with that game.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as they saw the gameplay, they was like, "Oh no, we can't push this."
Yeah, exactly. It was like they were so excited about it when they originally got that deal, but you remember when they signed that deal, they didn't have a lot going for them at the time.
True.
You know, so it was kind of like looking at it. Okay, like, hey, we got this thing. It's huge in Asia. We're gonna try and drive this. You know, it's gonna be like a big thing for us, and then as the game is getting developed and stuff, we're kind of like, whoa, what's going on with this thing? And we're not going to keep marketing it like we have. Then you saw it only glimpses of like little CGI stuff from like the campaign and stuff, like the little snippet gameplay things that look pretty cool. But like other than that, they didn't really like talk about it very much at all. You know.
And the launch was a disaster. It's. That was the game was like nowhere near being ready to come out. It needed like another year and a half or something.
I think it needed another decade or so.
I couldn't even play the single player. I couldn't even play the single player.
And no one could.
Was messed up.
Game Pass was messed
and
up
once I got done fooling around with the multiplayer, I was out. I uninstalled it. I still haven't tried to reinstall it to play the single player yet.
It had 2 maps, 2 modes. Both modes were not the greatest, and the aim assist for controller was broken. It was like you tried to like strafe and tried to like lock on the enemy that's like maybe running across you, and it's like you're trying to aim the cannon on a tank instead of just an assault rifle. It's like, what is happening here? It was probably some of the worst gunplay I've ever experienced. It was pretty bad.
To put into perspective,
it was more fun playing with knives. Just equip the knife, run, and stab people. It was more fun.
I kind of put into perspective like a few times where, you know, remember like on Xbox One and PS4 generation, there was like some random free to play first person shooters that would hit. You know, like I don't even remember the names of them. You know, just like from like no name studios, publishers I've ever heard of, and they just kind of like this free download that were like, okay, I'll check it out. Those games that I can't remember the names of or anything all played 10 times better than this piece of shit game. I'm just saying, like, it's hard not to be critical when something is that blatantly bad. I know that Jasper was like, hey, I kind of like the floatiness because you kind of equate it to more like Counter-Strike, but I played Counter-Strike also like on console. It just isn't like, I don't know, man.
I mean, I think the problem was that people thought there was aim assist, and it says there's aim assist in the options, but there was literally no aim assist in that game.
No.
So, like if you play games that don't have aim assist on consoles, it can be rough, like jumping from like Call of Duty to Halo, where they have strong aim assist, and then where you go to games that don't have any, it's like a real pain in the ass. But if you can adapt to that, you could actually do well in that game.
So did you play it with mouse and keyboard?
No, I played with a controller.
Oh, so you just
He's just as sweaty as hell. Slow-mo. I mean, I was watching him play actually on stream. He's getting all these like sniper shots and stuff, like quick scopes and everything. I'm like, I can't do that with the controller. You know,
I
on
made
that
the game look good.
Wow, Jasper.
Yeah.
I like it.
He did. If you watch some of his streams, I was like, okay, this doesn't seem as bad. Then I play it, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, how can it just felt so bad? And I tried to adjust the settings and everything. It kind of reminds me.
Didn't work.
None of the settings work.
No, it reminds me of like another game that was published by Ubisoft that I got to play in the Insider program that was a first-person shooter as well. I got to play in the.
Yeah, I played. That.
I know what game you're talking about because I played that game too.
And it felt almost as bad as that. Well, that game actually felt like equally as bad, or maybe I don't know. But anyway, like it was pretty rough.
The Ubisoft.
I played half a match of that game. That you're talking about that we can't mention because Ubisoft has crazy NDAs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the game is so bad that everyone knows what we're talking about without us even having to name it. But it's crazy that Ubisoft is still going forward with it, even because like I've seen them do updates talk about, hey, it's getting better. Trust us, please. Like,
well, they changed.
Yeah,
something.
They changed a lot.
Yeah. I was pretty defiant in my comments. I was pretty defiant in my comments to them about what I felt about the gameplay, and I hope they exit out of their library coming forward. You know.
Well, I heard Tom just left that game, so.
Tom did, yeah.
Tom,
yeah. I wonder if there's ever going to be any more like.
Tom had no reason being there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Tom. They also tried to tie in some of Tom's friends though, and they made some other changes with Tom's friends in there to try to like, hey, remember this guy? I'm like, yeah, I do. I remember him in a better game, but
Sam was like, I'm out of place here. I don't belong here.
Yeah. You know, it's just like some characters only belong in the upper echelon of franchises. You know.
And
man,
we're doing good with this.
Not
they keep putting Sam in the phone game, so you know.
You're drawing a rainbow here, and I'm not liking it.
Sometimes at the end of a rainbow, there's just a pile of shit, you know. And this is, I don't know. Again, that game was not all that, but guess what? CrossfireX actually released. So
you can say that for him.
So if there's an X at the beginning of a game title or at the end, I'm gonna kind of like stay clear for a little while and wait.
Oh, it's like a gamer tag from the 360 days.
Yeah, exactly. But so going on from that travesty of CrossfireX, we had Edge of Eternity hit Game Pass on February 10th. Then there was Ark Survival Evolved Ultimate Survivor Edition. When's that sequel supposed to be coming out for Ark? I remember that Vin Diesel trailer that was really weird.
Yeah. That's I don't have any idea. We haven't heard anything from it really at all.
I know that company's had some like iffy stuff in the past, so
yeah, I wonder if Ark 2 will release in game preview like the first one did. Because that game was like really rough for a long time. It maybe still is. I don't know. I never got into it, but like I think game preview kind of helped that game progress to where it was. Oh, hey, look who's here. I didn't hear a chime, so I don't know how long you've been there, baby.
For about like 20 minutes.
No, you have not. Have you really?
Yeah.
Hey, Caitlin.
Hey, babe.
No,
Hi,
I'm just
Caitlin.
kidding. Happy birthday, Pong.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I was gonna say happy birthday, slow mo.
Thanks anyway. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
All right, so let's see. Then we got.
What are we talking about?
We're kind of going through like Xbox's first half of 2022. Here's a pretty big one, I think, for a PC release for Game Pass was Total War Warhammer 3. That was a Sega published game, obviously exclusive. Not exclusive, but in Game Pass day one on PC. That was kind of interesting, you know, with all the Sega talk going back and forth about, you know, partnerships and stuff like that. They actually see some of their, at least one of their bigger franchises go into Game Pass day one. Later this year, we also have 2 Point Campus coming day one to Game Pass as well. let's see. There's also
Where's that one dropping anyway?
2 Point Campus.
It's in June, I think.
think so. I think it's coming up like August 9th. August 9th.
August 9th? Oh, okay.
Yeah, August 9th.
Yeah,
It's a few months
that's
away.
close.
It's not that close.
You know, I wish that they honestly, like, you know, that is a very kid-friendly game. So I kind of wish they would have dropped it in June so kids can have more time to play it over the summer.
Yeah, they always summer's always a dead time because they feel like, oh, everybody's going to be outside doing things, going on vacations and all this stuff. But like, people just stay
Kids
at
don't
home
go
and
outside
play
anymore.
games now. So, it's back catalog season right now, is what it feels like. Let's see, what else do we got? We got some more PC
Shredders.
releases. We did get Shredders. That we got Flight Simulator hit the cloud. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Lawn
Didn't
mowing
the
simulator.
Maverick content or Top Gun content just come out for that?
Yep. I think
Yeah,
so.
they got the
Is it
DLC.
Yes.
free or do you have to pay?
Did that just hit already?
It's free. Yeah, it hit already. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I gotta
Haven't you
check
seen the
that out.
videos? They got a new whole thing where you got to go up into the outer atmosphere and
Whoa.
fly. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I've already seen some people doing it.
I'm gonna have to install that. The one thing I don't like about Flight Sim is like how the update system works and the downloads, because you got to kind of like have the game launched while it's updating. Kind of sucks, you know, because it's like an in-game update system for all the content. So I don't know if that's the way, same with the Top Gear content, but if it is, I'm gonna have to
Top
kind of
Gear?
leave. Not Top Gear, sorry, Top Gun. I'm gonna kind of have to leave it running while that all that stuff does that. Let's see, we got Said Lawn Mowing Simulator. Hey, this was a big one. Guardians of the Galaxy hit on March the 10th. We found out that's one of the first games coming to the PS Plus Premium as well. One of the newest games coming to that service. So that was a pretty big deal. I think Guardians of the Galaxy hitting Game Pass, right? Brought more
that
attention
was,
to
that
it.
was my favorite game last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it already on the PlayStation thing?
That
No,
launches
not
on the
services,
13th, I think.
June.
Yeah.
It's in
Has
it is in
everybody played it
Asia,
by
I
then?
believe.
Then
Is what?
hasn't everybody already played it by now? Then
No, there were some people who still skipped it.
It didn't
So
sell
there
as
was
well
plenty-
as it should have. So
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
there'll be definitely people that try it out. For sure.
I think
It's
I think
I
PlayStation
think that's
will
more
get
of
some
a
people for sure.
fortunate case of Square Enix showing once again they don't know what to do with a certain market of games developers and demographics of gamers. So it's like they kind of forced Crystal Dynamics into doing a looter shooter for the Avengers. That didn't work out. Then they threw them under the bus for it. Guardians is actually a really good game, but with the way they marketed it when they showed it at
The
E3
worst.
last year, it was ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
It was
the-
the worst.
the best part of Guardians is its humor, the characters, the story, and how all that ties in together and how they really nailed
Yeah.
the understanding of those characters. And then instead of like showing us some of those things, clips of those things to get us excited, they gave us like a 15-minute unedited trump of like a mission.
Gameplay
then-
of fighting a Jello monster.
Generic gameplay that looked
Generic
like
gameplay.
Avengers gameplay, right?
No explanation. And it was just like after Avengers, that was like the last thing people wanted to see.
Mhm. And-
It's just Square Enix.
And then
Square,
they didn't
Square has no idea what they do, what to do with Western markets
Yeah.
at all. They
Right.
they don't get the fact that
Well-
you can't. Again, I always say you can show a toe of Final Fantasy and everybody will go nuts over it, but that doesn't work with the Western markets, right? That doesn't work with those style of games. You have to know what strengths those games play to, and you have to highlight those to us over here on the Western side of things for us to go, oh, okay, yeah, this looks great. You can't just do what you normally do with your JRPGs where you show anything and everybody's like, oh my God, best ever. Let's go. Can't
Yeah.
wait. That's just not how it works. Square never got that ever.
Well, and the other thing is now it's not going to be a problem anymore for them
Right.
because they have done what a lot of us thought that eventually they would do and move on from the Western dev studios. I do think that this game got overlooked for, like Slomo said, because of a lot of those reasons. They didn't like they mentioned the story and how people like, oh, this is very interactive between the characters, but they just talked about that. They didn't showcase it. If we could have gotten like walking scenes of them and the banter going back and forth on some of the missions with some of the cutscenes and stuff going on, and then kind of go into gameplay, I think people would have been like, okay, this looks pretty legit. But instead, they just showed them sitting on a couch on their ship and being like, they're going to have a lot of interactions between each other, and you're going to have great relationships. But here's 20 minutes of boring ass gameplay that looks just like the last game that we released that you hated. It didn't go over well.
What would have sold this game to me last summer is if they would have, like, if you played it, the whole scene in the bar with Lipless. There's an alien named Lipless, right? And he has this whole backstory with Star-Lord. And it's not much of a spoiler here because it has really nothing to do with the game whatsoever. But it's just hilarious because this guy comes up on Star-Lord, pulls a gun, and he's like, you betrayed me and everything. We were supposed to be brothers. They were like in prison together. And then it gets into this crazy, like, they start singing. And he's like, yeah, I remember you, Lipless. Like, we had that song, right? And they just start singing this song as he's trying to get Lipless to put the gun down. And it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest things. I laughed
Did you
out
fuck
loud
that
at
part
that.
up?
Oh, no, I got it right.
Okay.
But it's
I
just
don't
like if
remember
they
this.
would have just included that,
You may have
people would
walked
been
past it.
yeah, you had to go into a bar at what's the name of the Nowhere?
Yeah,
Nowhere.
Oh, is when you're walking around and you got to walk to all your different characters on Nowhere and find them.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and Rocket's mad at Star-Lord, so you go there to try to talk to Rocket, and then there's Lipless. He's just there in the bar. You talk to Lipless, and then he's like starts freaking out on you.
Man,
And
I didn't
it's
see
such a
Lipless, man. I'm pissed. Shit.
Oh, I would go back just to let's do that part. It's so funny, but it's just like that's kind of like such a unique experience for that game, and the humor was so spot on for Guardians that like that's something they could have put in a clip of a trailer to kind of market the game. It's not exposing the story. It's not telling you, like, hitting you with spoilers. It's not telling you who the grand villain is or anything like that. But it's still hilarious. It still captures the feel of the game. And I thought that would have been a better idea, especially when you showed us over 10 minutes of boring gameplay. You could have spent 30 seconds showing us part of that and been like, okay, all right, now people could say, yeah, I might want to check this out. That was pretty funny, instead of, wow, that here's Star-Lord ordering his teammates around again, fighting Jelly. Okay. It's just like, yeah, what are y'all doing, guys?
Shout out to Vic, the Click, again with $5 super chat. Appreciate you as always, Vic. One of the best out there. He says, "What's up, everyone? This time I'm the one that's a bit late. Happy birthday to a great podcaster and even more amazing human, Senor Pong Soul." I know that Vic is doing some shots for you there. 100%.
Guaranteed. Unless he's at work. That's the only time he's not doing shots.
You think these guys at work? At work, he just has a disguise.
He's got a 3
Is that what it is?
Weekend.
You just pull out a hidden flask and take a quick swig.
No, he's got like a thermos. This is Sprite. Or this is water.
He's got one of those fake babies in the carrier that's actually where you fill it up with liquor. It's got a straw in the head.
Oh,
you ever seen those?
Yeah. He's got a straw going up through his shirt.
I have never seen that before.
You've never seen that? You should look it up. Yeah, they got these
like suntan lotion bottles.
Yeah.
Never a freaking a baby.
It's actually a baby doll in a carrier. So like when you go to sports games and stuff, you can bring your own liquor because nobody bothers you because you got the baby, but the straw's in the top of the head, and you can.
That's freaking funny. I have to look at that.
All right, so now we got Tunic on March 16th. March was a pretty good damn month because you had Guardians of the Galaxy, you had Tunic, you had Shredders. Now that hit and miss for a lot of people. I think it's okay. It's not like, oh, this is an amazing game, but I feel like it's a pretty chill game that for the right type of gamer, you're gonna find a lot of in-depth gameplay there on Shredders. So that was a pretty good month there. Then we got a bunch of games I never heard of. Here we go. Crusader Kings 3 hit on March 29th. That was day one, or had that already been released previously?
It came out on PC last year.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Just day one to console.
It was console day one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Crusader Kings 3 and Weird West also. I really like Weird West. Weird West is a good game. I think it didn't get talked about a lot, but it's one of those that did come day one and was really solid, I think. It's a much bigger game than I thought it would be. So I encourage anybody that likes like RPGs or top-down games, to give that a try.
Is that the one that was made by Wolfeye Studios? I think they're former Arcane devs.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Western, but I was surprised with the amount of loot and like ability skills stuff going on there, with there's a town hub, and the gameplay is like you got some strategy involved to it, but also, you can kind of go guns blazing if you figure it out. But it's a good game, man. I was really impressed with it. I did not expect I expected to think it was cool because of, like, the Western aspect, but I wasn't expecting to like all the gameplay mechanics and the world and everything to be as good and large feeling as it was, right? So yeah. I was impressed with that. We had MLB The Show 2022 hit day one on Game Pass again. Now, last year, that was huge news when that got announced it was coming to Game Pass day one. This year was like, oh, cool, the show again. We got it. So it's like now expectation, right? And so crazy a year makes. Now we're expecting games like this day one in Game Pass, where a year ago it was like freaking the internet blew up when that was announced, right? Anybody been digging the show?
Haven't played it like I did the one last year, but I've been busy racing around more, so it's like baseball's kind of been on the back burner. But it's still great that we get that sports title, day and date in the service. I don't know. I think partly because the Phillies weren't really in it like they should have been. Although my original go-to team, the Mets, been doing a good bit better, so at some point I will dive into it, but I'm still busy racing around tracks and looking forward to Forza Motorsports. So, but it's still a big deal. If Madden would do the same thing as far as just beyond the 10-hour trial, that would be awesome. But having MLB is a pretty decent get, nonetheless.
Yeah.
I played it.
Did you like it, Lupa?
I had about 4 hours in it. Yeah, it was all right for hitting a ball with a bat and throwing a ball at somebody else.
It ain't no cricket, am I right?
Well, cricket's a boring load of shit as well. So, just like it's all right. It's all right for a chill game to play when you're in a party, just not thinking about it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have got really into the show. I've always been a show fan. I just don't play those games as much as I used to, right? Like. But there's a lot of like people that only play sports games, or only play racers, only play fighting games, only play shooters. You know what I mean? So this is really big for a lot of those gamers that are really into sports games.
Only play GTA.
Yeah, only play GTA, like Caitlin.
That's why Xbox should get EA, because then they get the sports games they're missing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of EA, they also have. Some more games did hit from EA, with all the EA Play games hitting into Game Pass this year as well. Also, one that was from EA that's right after this was Lost in Random hit
awesome
into EA
game.
Play. So yeah, I've seen some people really like that.
I've completed it, and it's an awesome game. I loved every minute of it. It was funny. The gameplay was awesome. It was unique. Don't think we've had a game like that before. And it was so much fun. The story was good. It was dark in areas. It was light in areas. It was very good. A very good, enjoyable game. The graphics were different and awesome. If you like, like Nightmare Before Christmas type of stuff, then it's a really good game. That type of genre.
Okay, so I have to show you.
Did you see that in the DMs?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is like, oh my god.
Look at this guy.
That's a do it yourself one.
You have to
but they actually make them. Yeah.
So this is why other sports should have the same drink policies as NASCAR.
That's freaking hilarious.
Drill a hole in that head.
So that's what we picture Vic doing at work right now, I guess, right? Is that what we're saying? Just take my child to work day. Hey, you can't stop me.
It's like, sorry, boss man, got no babysitter. Sorry.
That's really messed up. That is sick. Only the fucking Americans would think of some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
hey,
what? You got hooligans over there. You kidding me? The hooligans think of that stuff
we
too.
don't
Come on.
have hooligans.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you do.
European cultures
Not
going
unless
to
you're
pubs
thinking
every
of the
night.
80s. No, it isn't.
You still have hooligans.
It's not
Stop
like it's
it.
a real baby.
It still looks very real. It's sick. That's absolutely sick.
Well, you don't want to see the
Like,
process,
yeah.
Lupa, of making it. That's even worse. So
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's like pouring it in
that's
its
great.
back and sucking it out of his head. I mean, oh my goodness. What the
If Psycho
hell?
was here, I already know what he's thinking. I got you, Psycho.
Yeah, you'd have
Psycho's,
something else in there than
Psycho's
this,
got one of those
actually.
right now at the Dave Matthews concert. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he's like, crash
Oh
into
my
me.
goodness.
No, Cycles is like he made like a bong. in a
Yeah,
baby.
you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
A baby bong.
nightmares seeing that now.
A baby
That's
bong.
nightmarish. That's horrific.
All right, so lost some random. We have some fans of that. There was Bug Snacks, former PlayStation exclusive, hit on April
Game
28th.
of the year, right there.
Stop it.
That's
Oh,
what
Oh,
okay.
don't.
My-
Oh,
that's right.
slow-mos.
Slow-mo had to do a stream of Bug Snacks.
Jeez,
Slow-mo
don't
loved
remind me.
every minute of it.
I
He
hated
complained.
every
and-
second of that game.
BS. I
fake-
call BS.
Pokemon wannabe super chipper. I'm sorry, those little strawberries with the eyes give me nightmares.
Slow-mo, did you like Viva
Wiener
Pinata?
hands,
No, I did not.
who's playing
Okay.
wiener
There you go.
hands?
That's why.
I'm good. I
Wiener
lost a bet that had to stream that for like it started out as 2 hours, and then somehow I got swindled into doing it for 3, and then I had to do a second stream, and it's just like it's a lot of bad memories. It's a lot of waking up in the middle of the night screaming, from that nightmare of that game. So look, I know some people like, well, I didn't think it was that bad, but look, I can't stand that game.
Slow-mo, did you ever, let me ask you this, Slow-mo, did you ever get stuck playing it though? Did you ever get confused
Yes.
about what you had to do?
Yeah,
Did you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a confusing
the
game,
parts
man.
is like, hey, shoot this thing up in the air. This other like bucks that
Damn it. I was hoping for a different
and then-
answer.
and it's just like no, like it's just like half the time it's like who up like especially in like the desert area, and like there's like this little
Yeah.
canyon where you got to catch them all in this like this big circle or something. I'm just like, who made this game? Like, I just want to talk to them. I just want to have a conversation.
Yeah. I got stuck in the first 5 minutes, I have to admit.
And you got called a clumby clumber nut or some shit like that.
Yeah,
didn't
well,
you?
the guy at the beginning called me an idiot. Like, I was like, what is, like, that's one of the first things you hear is like somebody calling you an idiot. The clumby clumber nut said it, and it kind of pissed me off, and I wanted to prove him wrong. Then turns out 3 minutes later I got stuck. So clumby clumber nut was accurate, and that made me even more mad, But I will say my daughter absolutely loved that game, right? So, she's 10 years old, and this was crazy enough. The first game that she just got there, it sucked in and played like single player by herself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's got a lot of
was
charm.
amazing.
It's got a lot of charm.
Jasper.
It has.
It does.
The
I
other game
was
was
playing it
amazing.
while
You
I
had
was in
the
a party
Cinnabons
with
and
Peter,
the
and he
strawberries, and you
ripping
get
into me.
hot dog arms. Man, that game was so good.
Wiener hands.
Wiener hands.
Yeah. Jasper showing his true age right now. So yeah, and she did though. I mean, she got sucked into. She played it for like 3 days. And that's all she did was play Bug Snacks, and she beat it. I think she beat it. I know we beat a boss together because I kind of helped her figure out how to beat this boss. And I was like, I'm glad that it's something about it clicked with her. So games like that hitting Game Pass is a good thing, in my opinion, right? Like, it isn't, not every game has to be for everybody, but I do appreciate a game like that coming in there, because we would have never bought it. Like, she was like, "Oh, Dad, can I get Bug Snacks?" No, she wasn't gonna ask for Bug Snacks, but because it was there, it's like, "Hey, check out this game. I want to see if you like it." 3 days later, all she wants to play. So that was really
that's
cool.
awesome. At least Bugsnax was good for something.
Yeah, it turns out she's a lot more intelligent than I am because she didn't get stuck at that first part. So we move on from Bugsnax. Then we go into like some more EA Play stuff. We got like Star Wars Squadrons hit on cloud, and we have Hot Pursuit Remastered on the cloud. So you have some of those EA Play games all going to the cloud around that time. NBA 2K22 hit console on April 28th. This year was both versions. They didn't cop out and do just the last gen version like last year. So that was pretty cool. And that was only like 5 months after release or so. Or maybe, no, when does NBA come out? Like October or September usually? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's around October.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about 5-6 months after release. It's pretty good for a sports game like as big as NBA 2K. Hitting is still very relevant. Before the NBA playoffs and all that kind of stuff. Hitting in Game Pass. So it was pretty cool to see that. I know a lot of people dove into it. We had a lot of fun doing some team play for a little while with people that hadn't had 2K before. So and that's also going to be one that's part of the PS Plus Premium. And I think that's going to be a big deal for PlayStation having that in there, as many gamers that are on PlayStation that play, COD and 2K, right? We always make jokes about that, but for real though, like 2K and is a big deal to have in that service for sure. So
it launched in September, so yeah,
September, right?
So
about 6 months,
yeah,
7 months. Yep. Then we got Loot River, came out on my birthday, May 3rd. A lot of people really like this. This was a day one game as well.
Absolutely. Good
Halo
game.
Season 2 that day.
Yeah, Halo Season 2 came out that day as well. Then we had Trek to Yomi, May 5th hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
A Unit Chronicle Rising hit on May 10th. That's another day one.
Excellent.
Jurassic World Evolution 2 hit on the May 17th. That's day one as well, right? I believe.
Yeah.
And then we just have Hard Space Shipbreaker came out on PC. That's got kind of a lot of PC gamers actually pretty excited about that game. Floppy Nights, and we have Sniper Elite 5. And then I guess Pac-Man Museum Plus hit today as well.
It did?
It says May 27th.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out on Friday, so it should have hit if
Yeah.
not already.
So
download that.
Here we are. I mean, then we got coming up in June. What's announced right now? We got the Shadowrun trilogy, Assassin's Creed Origins, For Honor.
Remember, people, Mav knew the Shadowrun was coming. Insider Mav knew Shadowrun trilogy was coming. His nose was smelling it.
So how do we grade? I mean, now I say indie wise and AA wise, Sniper Elite 5 is great. Rainbow Six Extraction I had a lot of fun with. There's a lot of great indie games in here. You had a couple of big AAA games hit, not day one, but you had Guardians of the Galaxy, NBA 2K22. Then you did have MLB The Show hit day one. You had games like Weird West, Crusader Kings 3. You got PC things like Total War Warhammer 3. There's no like big first party games, right, that have hit the first half of this year. That was to be expected. We did not expect to potentially have that happen for the second half of this year, but that's still not necessarily 100% going to be the case. But where do we sit on how Xbox's lineup was for the first half? I know I didn't run out of things to play, but we wanted more.
For me, I feel like April was the worst month. I feel like just because I'm not big into NBA, and that was like the biggest game that we got in Game Pass for April. And kind of leading into May, it was a long period before we got Sniper Elite, which was the one I was looking for. So I had like almost 2 months where I was just like, well, Game Pass, there's not much on there for me right now.
Right.
So that's kind of like a slow period, and that's kind of where we started hearing all the negative news. So I feel like maybe for someone who's not into those kind of games, it kind of felt like bad for it to be an Xbox player or whatever. But I mean, that's just kind of where I'm sitting. But January through March was really good because we got Rainbow, Guardians of the Galaxy. I already played it, so it wasn't too big of a deal for me. So that's kind of where I'm sitting.
What about you, Lupa?
What about me?
How do you feel like Xbox fared in the first half of 2022 with the
I think
lineup?
they've done awesome. I think it was a good lineup. I think gamers are too entitled these days, and you should just be happy with what you get. And like, it's like I just get fed up with all the doom and bloody gloom. Just get on with it. We got what we got. Enjoy it or don't play games. Whatever. I don't mind. Either way.
Right on. Fair enough.
I think it was a quite good set of different types of games and games that all of us enjoy differently. Some like, some don't like. That's gaming, and we should just get on with it and play what we got. So we're all disappointed a couple of games aren't coming, but there's plenty of other stuff that's come in that we can play third party, and third party have held up Xbox for a few years in their dark moments. And they'll do it again this year. But next year, it's going to hit and it's going to be blowing people's minds what's coming. Just wait till June 12th. People jump the gun too early.
I think what's kind of made it feel maybe even worse from Xbox's side for me was that there was really no big third-party AAA games either the first half of the year. I mean, I'm trying to think back at like what all third-party came out the first half of this year. And there was not a lot. I mean, Rainbow was Game Pass day one, but I'm just talking about in general, like third-party big AAA titles.
They all got them in Game Pass, so it's like,
well, like, there's just not. I mean, what else was there? I mean, I'm trying to think back. I mean,
outside of Game Pass, you had Elden Ring. That was
Elden Ring. Yeah, that's the one big one. That's
type of deal.
That's the one big one. Besides Elden Ring, though, like, was there like other ones? I'm not remembering a lot.
There's probably MLB The Show, but I think also MLB The Show is kind of niche. Like, it's baseball. Yeah. So it's not even like, even in the sports category, it's not like the most popular sports game that gets played. Like, that's reserved for like NBA 2K, FIFA, Madden. You know, MLB The Show isn't like a bad game or anything like that, but it's just like, it's not like, regardless of its level of quality, not too many people are going to gravitate to it. I do see what you're saying, Matt, when it comes to that, even like big third-party games. Elden Ring is like probably going to win Game of the Year unless God of War really shows up and shows out.
Yeah.
But
Ryan in the chat just put Dying Light 2 came out this year.
Dying Light 2. Yep. I knew that was something else I played.
And that was but that did not hit. Yeah, that was released. That came out there. That's a big one. We also had Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Life is Strange Remastered Collection.
Other than that, I mean, there wasn't like
Elden Ring.
It was kind of a dead first half.
King of Fighters,
the game.
King of Fighters is great.
Fighting games.
Yeah, there was Evil Dead. The game came out the other day. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin.
There's a lot of AA here. You know what I mean? A lot of AA, and which is cool. I'm not like criticizing every game has to be like a big, massive thing. Like, what I'm getting at is like
Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga that came out.
Mm-hmm. It seems just was not a lot of like there wasn't like a lot of those huge like, oh my god, like Elden Ring was like the one, you know. I think.
Oh, there is another one.
They didn't have any like sticking
September
power.
1st.
Like, it just kind of
release
came out and then they're gone.
Right. Yeah. Dying Light 2 is probably the other biggest one. You know, I would say like that is like right there. You know, that's a huge one. You know, that one just slipped my mind. Yeah, it's interesting. I think PlayStation had a very solid first half of this year, but they had like almost nothing the second half of last year also, right?
Mm.
So, you know, it's kind of like you trade this 6 months for this 6 months. You know what I mean? So you can't necessarily just put everything there. You got to look at the end of the year and see how the slate went at the end of the year. So Slow-Mo, like, what about Xbox's lineup for this year? Do you think it's like enough for like a 6 month period to keep people satisfied while waiting on other big games for the people that like those big games? Not everybody cares. You know, a lot of people just like to play the other stuff. But.
Right. So like there's a lot of gamers out there that are kind of like what the Xbox Game Pass Twitter account was talking about the past week about, like, you know, to tell us you only play AAA games without telling us you only play AAA games. And there's a lot of people that are like that. Like they have signed up to Game Pass for the AAA experience. They signed up with the not necessarily a promise to the gamers, but like heard of this target, this goal that Xbox had to have a one first party AAA game drop in Game Pass every quarter, and that's ambitious, you know. Like, and then people start to see that you have acquired all these studios. That's really the only way to be able to get something like that done. So people are like, oh man, like I'm really can't, especially after last year where they were publisher of the year with the highest Metacritic scores out of all the games that they published and put out. It's like people think, oh, the corner has turned. It's now time to, like, this is going to happen every year. But then, you know, here we are, and there are no first party releases in the first half. Now, I think part of the disappointment with that is that there's not going to be any, well, at least as we know so far, no first party releases for the second half of the year. But just looking strictly at the first half, you look at, there are some quality games here. Elden Ring, absolutely loved it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even a Souls guy, and I was just like, I can't stop playing this game.
You're not a Souls guy, Slow-Mo? I mean, you like have like 7 characters on Elden Ring that's like all maxed out and stuff, man.
Exactly, right? So like I'm not a Souls guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make another character and beat the game again. I'm gonna get the 8th ending, right? Like I couldn't stop playing the game.
Yeah, those are like my first Souls game.
Yeah, this was my second one. My first one was Demon Souls Remake, which I liked. But I like this one more just because it was more accessible, more options, more variety in how I wanted to tackle challenges, bosses, whatever. I know the Souls community is like, oh, that's easy mode. I'm like, oh, I don't care. You know,
Right.
I'm trying to win. But I think if you're an Xbox gamer, I can understand disappointment and stuff like how Halo, even though Halo Infinite came out last year, we expected for a live service game for you to get that kind of consistent content drops that a live service game is supposed to provide you. And unfortunately, 343 seems to have a production issue in terms of keeping up with the level of content that you expect from a game of that caliber. You see with EA and Respawn with Apex Legends, their community got no problem getting content. Fortnite's always dropping new stuff, new skins. I saw Doctor Strange with a shotgun last night in Forte's gameplay. I'm like, what's happening here? It's always something cool happening. And then you look at, you know, Halo Infinite, and they gave us 2 new maps in the season 2, and it's just like, and then they broke some things. And then they still haven't fixed desync. Oh man, it's just like, it's so many little things like that I think start to wear on people. And even though there've been some good indie, I think as far as indies goes, if you're a fan like myself of indies, you freaking had a great time in Game Pass because there was a lot of great indies there for you to play. But unfortunately, that's not like every gamer. And if you don't care about indies, you're probably like, yo, where the games at? Where the games I want to play at? Because we mentioned some good games, the third party games, but they seem to all have come out all around one time, and there was always like in January, February, a little bit in March, and then since March, it's just been not really much, and so that's unfortunate. And I think as far as Xbox leadership goes, I think it might be a learning lesson for them to kind of like figure out how to manage when you can't get your first party content out. How far do you double down or try to secure AAA content, you know, or try to bring in like some of that time exclusive kind of stuff that we were talking about earlier with Forspoken. And I mean, even last year when PlayStation didn't have much for actually anything for the second half of 2021, they still were able to have Deathloop, which is, you know, was a timed exclusive and therefore became an exclusive game for them for that year. Like, getting deals like that can help deal with content droughts when they occur. And I think that's maybe something they could look forward to doing in the future. But as of now, it was like I said, if you're into indies, you had a great time in this first half. If you're not, you're probably a little upset.
Yeah. And again, this is not like I'm completely have been content because there's been a lot of stuff to play. You know, I don't think any of us have ran out of stuff to play this year at all. You know, it's like a constant flow content. I have more games to play than I have time to play. right now.
Big fact.
I want to play Halo, but I also want to play Sniper Elite 5, but I also want to play the Division 2 because the new content on there. You know what I mean? I want to go back and play some of these older games that got new updates. I want to play so many different things, right? So, and I think a lot of us are in that position right now, and it's become like, but there's still something to me for that hype level of excitement of a big game still, of like, yeah, and it's kind of a big community like thing where this big game comes out, we all like, everybody plays it at the same time almost. It's this big like amazing thing, and it drives a lot of new people to the platform ecosystem. A lot of times when a game hits like that, it happened last year with Forza Horizon 5 was like one of those big moments. It was like, wow, this was amazing. And so far we've been missing that. I think there's still a chance we're going to have that for this year. We're going to find out in June, I think. But
you think there's going to be some kind of like surprise game that's going to drop in like 3 months or so, something like that?
Well, I think even if it's Forza Motorsport, right? I think even if it's Forza Motorsport, I think that could be bigger than we think, because Horizon took off to another level. I think there's going to be more hype behind the Forza brand than ever before. And when people see the Forza Motorsport game, I think it could draw a lot of attention, because Gran Turismo came out this year as well. So you're going to have a lot of comparisons going with that. It could be something that I see you shaking your head, Pong Soul. I think it could drive some excitement. Now, they can't just rely only on that, right? I know.
I think Plague Tale 2 is supposed to come out this summer.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, it comes out
June.
It comes out June the 17th, I believe, but I think it will be shadow dropped on June 12th because it's only a few days early.
We got some craziness going on in the chat right now, because Dr. Dinglenut just gifted 5 memberships to the community. Appreciate that. And then 100% appreciate that. He said wanted to pay it forward because Lupa was kind enough to gift him last week. And then Micah went out and gifted 20 memberships to the community, man. It's
amazing.
Absolutely insane.
Wow.
I don't know how 100% how the system's working, just to be honest with you guys, because I think like it's still in like
randomly picks.
It's still in like beta as far as that goes, because I didn't activate anything for that. It's like a new system. I know it worked for Lupa when she did hers. I haven't.
They pick somebody. They what they do is they're just picking like a content creator and bunging it on them. That's what I've heard from other content creators.
Right.
They didn't know it was happening. Then it happened, and also it's random.
There goes slow mo. Slow mo just got gifted a membership.
Yeah,
by Micah. By Micah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
I don't know how it works.
That's it. It's very random. So like they'll just YouTube pick who it is. They sent me a survey after I did it last week, and I put in the survey I would like to be able to choose who the gifted subs go to, because my whole point was there was a lot of people that weren't members that I wanted to be members, and all members got it. So it was
I mean, it's a pretty cool new feature. I think that they've probably got some kinks to work out. I know that I think somebody had gifted some like a few days ago or something, and like they never got gifted, and then they got refunded or whatever. You know what I mean? So like I think they got some kinks to work out. However, I mean, I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. It's amazing. Like we just had 25 memberships just gifted on this channel. It's absolutely insane. You guys,
that's awesome.
Appreciate it, guys. So yeah, as babe, do you have like a thought? I mean, you've been playing a lot of GTA over the last 6 months. You've been playing Halo. You actually really like Sniper Elite 5. Are you kind of happy with where Xbox has been this year so far?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, there's plenty to play. So
yeah, I think a lot of the doom and gloom stuff is a little overkill. You know, like it's like Lupa said, like we got plenty of things. You know, so there's like a medium there for me. Like I still want to ask for those big games, right? I don't want to act for me personally like they don't matter at all, because to me they do. But that's not the only thing that matters.
Because I was really looking forward, not Back for Blood, Redfall. Because that's probably what I was looking forward to the most.
Me too.
I agree with that. Redfall is it's got that kind of like a Borderlands vibe to it. It's like vampires with Borderlands, and I'm a massive Borderlands fan. So for me, I was like,
Me too.
I'm not a big Bethesda fan with especially Bethesda like game studios games. I'm not
No,
big
me
with
neither.
Fallout and Elder Scrolls. So like everyone was all like Starfield. I'm just like, but what about Redfall?
Yeah, I don't.
I care about
I've seen
Redfall.
nothing about it to get hyped about it for. I've seen nothing. So there's no
I like
point in getting
vampire
hyped about
stuff,
something you
so-
don't know.
That's good. You don't have to be hyped, Lupa.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Just,
it's
no,
okay
just
for
like
the
you told
people that
everybody.
are.
Just like you told everybody, they don't have to have Game Pass if they're not happy with it. You don't have to be hyped for Starfield.
I didn't say didn't. What? I didn't say that.
You said if they're not happy with what the Game Pass is offering, the entitled
Then
gamers,
I said
then
don't game
Yeah.
then.
Exactly. So you don't have to talk about Starfield. You don't have to be hyped. That's
No,
okay.
what I'm saying is, I'm like Caitlin. I was more hyped for Redfield because it's a game that we can play together, and I like playing together, right?
Yeah.
And also, I love Borderlands like slow mo, but
Yep.
there has been nothing shown about. And have we seen some gameplay? Have we seen what it's about? No, nothing. So how can you get hyped for
Just the
something
leaked
you know
beta
nothing
stuff
about?
or the alpha stuff, but for
No,
the
but
most
there's
part, with it being a
nothing.
looter shooter, I would have to
Well,
believe
that's what
it.
you're guessing it's going to be.
Well, they've said that it's a looter shooter as far
it
as
is a looter shooter. Like
it's
that's
open
the
world
people who did
co-op
the
looter shooter.
testing.
There's
Yeah,
also
but
actually like spoke
what
of
I'm
it.
saying is
different
you've
videos.
seen nothing. You've seen nothing about the completed game or anything about it. So how do you know what it's going to play like? How do you know what it's going to be? What I'm saying is when I see something on the game, then I'll be like, oh yeah, I might play that.
yeah.
Or I
Yeah,
might not. I
you're
can't
one of those
get
like
hyped about something I know nothing about.
I
Yeah,
think
you
for-
need to see
Understand.
things.
Yeah, you need to see things.
Yeah,
That's completely
I
fair.
need to play it.
For me, I get excited based on like certain devs and certain game models that like kind of like click with me. I'm like, okay, I like the theme. I know that the dev is a good developer, and I also like the style of game that they say they're creating. And I kind of put all three
Based on their
together,
past
and then
games and the
based
engine
on
and all that
everything
stuff,
that they've
kind of
made in the
get a
past, and
feel on how it's going to play out.
and then I kind of like get excited for, okay, well, I want to see that. Like, I'm excited to see it. So my hype level's already there. Now, if it comes out and they show it and it looks like crap and it looks like it's going to play like ass, and I'm like, okay, so for example, Midnight Suns was announced immediately. I get hyped out the ass. I'm like, oh my God, that was like the announcement I've always been waiting for.
You, me, and both.
An XCOM Marvel game made by people that were behind the freaking like XCOM, like making a Marvel game. Like, oh my God, this is like a fucking dream come true. Like, oh my God, yes. And then they went to proceed to show the game, right? And explain more what it was. And it was
It's a
like
card game.
It's card game.
Oh,
Bro.
okay, right. So I
The
get
makers of XCOM.
I know, but like we're gonna see it eventually. But I can still be in that hype mode beforehand, and then be like, and then
I get excited. Like not like hyped and mental and oh God, it's got to come on the day they say because otherwise I'm going to die and all that shit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the way I look at it is I'm really excited, not excited, but looking forward to Lord of the Ring Golems. I'm glad that it's got a release date and I'm looking forward to it. But Daedalic Studio, I haven't heard of them before. I don't think I've ever played any of theirs. So I don't know how it's going to play. But I'm looking forward to the concept of it.
She's talking about Gollum.
Oh, Gollum. Yeah, Gollum looks like ass to me from the get-go.
Well, there you go, because you're not excited for that type of game.
Well, no, I like Lord of the Rings, but I just when they showed the game the first time, I was like, I'm not like, I don't dig this. You know what I mean?
There's a new trailer out for it, and that looks a lot better. And he's a fascinating character that's never had any time in the spotlight. And I think that telling his story is going to be interesting. But that's what I'm saying. We're all different. It's subjective.
Yeah,
and it's not that I'm putting on anybody else or having a go at anybody for being hyped for a game. I'm just saying, like, gamers are so entitled. If you don't like what Game Pass are doing, then don't bloody buy Game Pass. Don't game.
I'll announce my unsubscription on Twitter later tonight.
I agree 100%.
You're not a true hardcore gamer if you can't withstand some of the hard times that I've been since OG Xbox, and been through some shit with bloody.
Are you
Xbox.
gatekeeping right now, Lupa?
That sounds
No,
like
I'm
some
not.
gatekeeping.
That sounds like some gatekeeping right
That
there.
sounds very gatekeepish.
No, I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just saying, if you've been through some hard shit, you've been through some like really bad times with Xbox. You really have. And like, so if you stick with it, you're a gamer, and that's it. And I don't protect Xbox either, because they're fucking shit sometimes. And I'm not doing that kind of. I'm not damage controlling them at all. They're fucking load of shit, so you get it wrong all the time, and people need to understand they're a fucking company, and all they want to do is make money.
Yeah, we love you,
At
Lupa.
the end of the day.
It's
I almost spit out my pop there.
I really want to ask her how she feels about Kotar, but now I kind of feel like I already know.
Kotar are a load of fuck-asses. They need to go and fucking suck their mother. Twats.
There you go, slow-mo.
Yeah, it's about what I expected.
What do you think about the Switch, Lupa?
The what?
The Switch.
What?
Oh, that's
I
a
don't know.
piece of shit as well. I mean, they just charge you loads of money for the same fucking game they released 10 years ago.
Thank you.
Assholes. I do love my Nintendo games, but they do take the fucking piss.
all the fucking piss.
Oh, in her favorite franchise is Zelda.
I want a home console for Nintendo. Go back to making a SNES or a NES. I'll be happy with that as long as it's got this time's technology in it, not a bloody old Nokia phone that I had 23 years
A
ago.
Nokia?
Boom.
A Nokia.
You know.
Oh, great. I had to translate the Nokia to note like what I it's like the Adidas is in Adidas, you know, Nokia. I've never heard it. Like, is that how it's pronounced in the UK?
It's a Nokia phone, isn't it?
Yeah,
Nokia,
Nokia.
whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's Adidas. You can't speak properly, Mav. It's not my problem. It's yours.
It's Adidas.
It's
It'll ever always
aluminum,
be
not
Adidas.
aluminium.
See,
It's aluminium.
Adidas.
It's
There's no
American.
extra. There's no extra I in there.
It's aluminium.
It's petrol, not gasoline.
Same as it's
petrol.
almond and not almond.
No, that's just 3-bit language. That's like
That's
a one of a
3-bit.
kind, you know.
Yeah, 3-bit. It is almond milk.
Yeah, I'm drinking my almond milk and my broccoli margaritas. My almond
I
milk.
just go and get my Dapier on and walk along the
diaper.
sidewalk.
My diaper.
My diaper. Because that's how it's spelled. Diaper. But it says Dapier, whatever it is. I don't know. Some kind of shit.
Diaper.
Yeah.
Diaper. What, with an A in it? Diaper.
Yes.
With an A
Yes,
in it.
A is silent.
That's the weirdest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
A is silent.
Silent fucking vowel. Good one.
We do that a lot with words. We have a lot of silent letters, so
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just
Sorry.
mixed Old English.
It's only because you can't fucking spell. That's why.
Yeah.
maybe.
Possibly.
You've gone down in my estimation attacking me, Pong. You're talking
No.
out your ass as well.
Yes.
Is
that what we do
I'm
here?
Fucking gatekeep him. I'm just saying, if they want to fucking unsubscribe from Game Pass, good fucking luck, because they're not true gamers.
Oh wow.
If
Okay.
anybody turns
See?
down a deal with Game Pass, anybody turns down that deal as a gamer with Game Pass is fucking off their tits. That's all
I'm
I
switching
can
to
say.
Nintendo Online after this podcast. So
Oh
What?
fucking hell! Oh my god! Well, I hope you get on well with your friend. Fucking.
I mean, I think we can all agree that Game Pass is the best value in gaming, bar none, right? I'm not going to go
But
as
why
far
would
as
you
to say like you're
unsubscribe
not
to
a
the
gamer
company?
if you don't subscribe to Game Pass, though.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people keep complaining. Stop complaining.
Yeah,
and
stop
enjoy
complaining.
What you got.
Yes, I agree. You don't
Get
have to
someone
announce
there.
your cancellations. That's just dumb as
Yeah,
hell.
and I don't believe them. They're all fucking liars. They showed us no damn proof that they
Yeah.
actually unsubscribed from Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did
Well, where's
they?
the receipts? You know, where's your
Exactly. I
cancellation
want them
They
to
emails?
see-
also, one of them also 3 weeks ago was talking about how Game Pass was so amazing, and it was like three weeks ago, so amazing. Now you're like, I'm not. I've wasted my money. I'm not doing anything with this. Wait a minute. But
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, you were definitely saying you were doing something with it. So which is it? I think some of these, I call them the checkmark brigade because it seems like they love to follow each other and the things that they say, and then when people call them out, they like swarm together and defend each other. But I feel like they say a lot of things sometimes on Twitter just for attention.
Yeah.
It's just fucking clout.
What, they don't block people like Schreier?
No, they don't. They don't want to block their followers. They want you to like and retweet and cuss them out and quote retweets. That's what it's about. It's about engagement.
I don't give them that fucking engagement. I just block and move on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid shit. Yeah.
What I was gonna say was to the original question, as far as the first half of the year stuff goes, this is the part that where it would be interesting to actually know and see what Xbox themselves are seeing, because a lot of stuff they couldn't control for the first half,
for
right?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, Stalker 2 was a huge loss in the first half of the year, right? That was going to be one of those that kind of showcased the series consoles. From the trailers we saw, that team was doing some stuff that no other game has really showed off with the new hardware. And I think that Stalker 2 was a big one. And then obviously Halo Infinite, they probably thought they were maybe going to get back on track and get some content out there, like Slow-Mo was talking about, that was kind of expected, and maybe get on a regular cadence with that and not have another 6-month series or 6-month season like they do now, which would have also helped. And then the other one that's missing that I'm really curious about. Now, I know we're all kind of expecting it on June 12th, but Forza Horizon should have had some DLC by now.
Yeah, DLC.
Right, and an expansion. So maybe something happened internally there as well. That Playground, obviously they're working on Fable 2. We know that. Maybe something happened there and they pushed that they were expecting to have, early springtime as well, because that would have filled some of that hole too. So
they got two separate studios.
They do have two separate studios.
Yeah, so it's
right.
Like the team that's working on Fable is completely different guys. Working on Forza,
And I do know that, but we don't know how much help they're getting. If they've had to give some help over to that other team with Fable, I don't know. I'm saying this is the stuff that I'd love to be on the inside, a fly on the wall, to know what they were seeing, because a lot of it, like I said, the Stalker 2 was completely out of the control, right? They had no idea things were going to happen the way they did. And so again, they probably looked at their first half this year and said, we're going to be good this year. We're not going to be where we want to be. Like Phil talked about, like Slow-Mo brought up, everybody knows he said he wants one per quarter, one home run first party title per quarter. That they knew they weren't going to be there this year, but they probably thought they were going to have some stuff in there. And so they probably didn't cut the third party deals like they thought that, like they had to last year. They probably didn't have those set up for this year, thinking that they were going to be okay. Now, again, if I was filling a team and I had the checkbook, again, we don't know any of this, armchair CEO time, but I would gone out and grabbed the Dying Light 2 and paid what I had to, even overpay for it, just to have something else coming to Game Pass, or another title like that. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of them, like we just talked about, but at the same time, I probably would have tried to fill it. But, Xbox has created this expectation with Game Pass themselves. Lupa's right. We've talked about this plenty of times, and I don't disagree with her that we as gamers are being very we've been spoiled at this point, and we are kind of getting to that point where we think that we do deserve more than we get sometimes, and we don't have the understanding that shit happens, and that these dev teams are under the gun, and that all this stuff happened, and a lot of it is out of their control. And look, we just kind of got to expect sometimes this is going to be the case where we don't get the games we expect. But Xbox has also set those up themselves, because they have driven home Game Pass so much, because that has been such a point of emphasis, and they have invested so heavily into Game Pass to bring us a ton of content, that I think that for me as a gamer, we all know, right? And a lot of us on this panel here, I'm a grazer, so I will never be short of games. Game Pass will always be a value. The greatest value I've ever seen in my entire life as a gamer is Game Pass, because for me, it gives me everything I've ever asked for and more. And I'm not going to run out of something to play. But for those people who may have signed up expecting some of those big titles to hit, or people that don't necessarily look at indie titles with the same value, even if they get to try them out for free, quote unquote, in Game Pass, they don't consider that value to them because they're still looking for that next big game. For those people, the expectations kind of be set to expect something. And when it doesn't show up, then you start hearing the murmurings of, oh, well, there's really nothing out here. Game Pass isn't, giving me what I want. It's not doing what they said it was going to do, yada, yada, yada. So I think that they've kind of put themselves in that corner right now. Some of it out of their control, some of it just because of what they've done previously with Game Pass. But that's the interesting part. I think overall, the first half of the year, if you look at it in total, I don't think I think it was light. It felt lighter than last year for sure, but I still don't think it was bad. There was some really big surprise, not big, but there was some really surprise games that did hit in there that did better than people expected. And I think Sniper Elite 5 is the latest one to do that, which has been better than most people. And I'm a Sniper Elite fan, but if you go back and look at the reception of Sniper Elite, it's always been like, it's a AA game. It is what it is. People finally getting to try it out in Game Pass are being surprised by this one, which is what you want. So I think overall, it was a decent first half, minus the first parties missing and minus the big game like a Stalker 2 or an expansion from like Forza. Minus those, that hurts. But I think overall, it was a decent first half. I think it could have been better.
Better though.
Well, you had Outriders, right? Which didn't turn out to be the game that people thought it was going to be, but it still gave a ton of excitement to Game Pass for at least 1 month. It had a bigger
splash than any game.
And part of that, though, guys, I think is
I
think the announcements of these games coming to Game Pass the first half last year were more of a shocker, right? And they made a bigger splash news-wise. As opposed to this year, it's more of an expectation because, like, again...
So you think you're just becoming numb to these...
MLB The Show again, this year again, Game Pass day one, but nobody was like... It wasn't like, oh my God, yeah, MLB The Show, fuck yeah, it's coming to Game Pass day one. It was like, okay, it's just Game Pass day one again. You had several other games like Rainbow Six Extraction. You had freaking... Sniper Elite 5. We've had the Shadowrun announcement. We have so many different... announcements of all of these games coming to Game Pass now, and a lot of these bigger indie games and some of these AA games, and it's kind of like
top $70 billion Activision.
Yeah, well, that too. So it's kind of like we're just now. It's not as much of a surprise where it's now an expectation, right? And that's where the flip of the mentality goes, because once they've achieved that, the game had changed, right? Once they did Outriders and MLB The Show. Then we're expecting they got to match that and then add more. They got to match that and then add more. I think once the AAA type deals come through, like if there's a Gotham Knights type deal, or if there's like, I've seen some other people make some guesses out there for some other games, right? If something like that gets announced, one of these big games that already has a lot of hype behind it was to get announced, that's the next step, right? A lot of people had expected maybe Dying Light 2 would have been a possibility. That didn't end up happening, so who knows exactly what's going to go on. But you even look at the PC side of it, there's been a lot there, and it doesn't get a lot of attention, right? A big time PC franchises, Game Pass day one, and it's just not getting the attention like it did.
Well, that's just because Xbox is known for console, not PC, but
that too, but it's a big deal, I think. And like,
Slow-mo, do you have a lot of people, because you do play on PC probably more than anybody on this panel probably, but do you see more people realizing that PC Game Pass is a value, or does it still have the stigma because Xbox has never, people were never been happy with like the launcher over there and all that kind of stuff, and the Microsoft Store sucks and all that kind of. Do you see a change with Game Pass?
It's changing slowly, but the stigma is largely still there because there's still largely issues. Like I would say probably the two biggest performance-wise, the games don't perform as poorly as they used to. It used to be any game that you install through the Xbox beta app or the Microsoft Store, you just know, hey, get ready for some bullshit. But like the games still do perform better in Steam. Like Halo Infinite plays better on Steam. When I play Halo Infinite, I have it installed on my PC right now. I have it installed through Steam. when I played the campaign, I uninstalled the Steam version and installed the Xbox beta app version, which even though I enjoyed the campaign, I had a lot of crashes. I had a lot of there was one segment in particular I remember where I was trying to take out a high value target. I had to attempt to do it 3 times because the game kept crashing before I could finish that part. And it's just I kind of struggled through it till I beat the campaign, uninstalled it, and then reinstalled it back on Steam. And that's what a lot of I think that's partially why they finally just kind of just pulled up the white flag and was like, "Hey, look, we just gonna sell our games on Steam."
Right.
Because we out here trying, and until we get this launcher working correctly, there's no point in us launching games that could do very well and we can make some money off of them, but forcing you to get this terrible app in order to do so. Here, they're on Steam, buy them, and PC gamers have done that. You look at Steam charts, you'll see Sea of Thieves is up there pretty frequently.
Right.
Forza Horizon 5 is up there pretty frequently. Halo's not because it's a free-to-play game, but
yeah, people
play those games. Gears was up there when it launched in there, and I think for the most part, it's gotten better. I know it's gotten better because I've played. I remember playing Scarlet Nexus when it hit Game Pass. I bought the game first, played it through Steam. When it hit Game Pass, I just wanted to see how it felt. Installed it there, did like maybe an hour or two, performed great. And I've largely seen that start to occur more and more. So they are getting better, but there's still little issues where PC gamers want freedom. They want to be able to put mods on the game.
Right.
You can't really do that if you get a game through Game Pass or through Xbox Beta.
It's
they lock
only
it
certain
down.
games. Like Halo MCC you can now. It's certain games that allow it. You have to like go into settings and like change it before you launch the game. But there's
okay. So okay. That's good. They're making changes there. There's also I've noticed this one thing as well. If you have to go to the Microsoft Store to do updates. If you don't launch the Microsoft Store, it's not going to do the updates automatically. As if every other launcher you have, as soon as you launch Steam, it starts running the updates for the games you have.
Yeah, that shit drives me crazy,
with Epic
man.
Game Store. Yeah.
The hope is that Blizzard might help that out too, right? With Battle.net.
I hope
and stuff.
so. Yeah. Yes, because Battle.net's awesome.
Right. That's what everybody says.
Yeah, it's great. So like, whoever is running Battle.net, like, hey, all these guys here,
here's the keys
for them now.
Exactly.
Shout out
everything they tell you to do.
Shout out to RWK88 earlier. He hit us with a $2 super chat. Just said enjoy, y'all. Hey, we enjoy your company too, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate the support as well. Yeah, I think ultimately 2022 is okay so far. It's not great. It's definitely good as far as amount of games to play. Could have been better. I think 2023, again, we always say wait till next year, but like 2023 is going to be absolutely mind-blowing, not just from a first-party perspective from Xbox, but also third-party as well. We're in 6 months in. We've only had a couple of big-time releases from third party as well, like as far as big time games, right? So I think there's gonna be like this. We're still feeling, even as crazy as it is to say now, we're still feeling those effects of games that should have been out 2021, 2022 getting moved out because of the development issues that were happening in 2020, and 2021. So I think ultimately we're gonna get there again, and they kind of had predicted this to an extent. I remember seeing in interviews where they said like 2022 might run into some issues and stuff like that. So it's just weird seeing it kind of like unfold after such a great second half of 2021. And ultimately at the end of this year, we still got some stuff to hope for. I think with the I think most Xbox diehards and most people that are really enjoy the Xbox ecosystem are completely happy right now and aren't really like, oh my god, we're abandoning Xbox. Not like some of these morons on Twitter and stuff that are just seeking attention, But I do think that there's a lot on the line for the showcase, right? If they have this like showcase and they come out and they don't really like show, there's no way this is gonna happen. But like, if they were to come out and not really have like a kick-ass show and have some like amazing stuff to show for 2023 at least, you know,
They're
then
bringing Don Matrick back.
then that would be
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
we would start having conversations, you know. But what I expect at the showcase is maybe a surprise or two. You know, we also plus focus on the things we already know about for 2022, like we see Warhammer, Dark Tide. You got Scorn still coming, and there was one or two. You got Plague Tale, and maybe one other more decent size type game coming for second half that we know about coming into Game Pass, right? Unfortunately, Replaced was just delayed to 2023 as well. That's one that a lot of people were looking for. That's kind of stole the show for the indie scene a little bit at the Xbox Showcase last year. Jumped off the screen to a lot of people. But this year, I think 2023 has got to be a big focus for them. The couple surprises, hopefully, for 2022. But you gotta come out with the lineup and the slate for 2023, and you gotta hit it. You know, you can't like come out there and say, "Oh, these games are gonna be blah blah blah," and then push them back again, because like this is like probably for a lot of people the last time that people are gonna be as forgiving for that. You know, because it's been a lot of patience with the first party, right? And rightfully so with COVID and, you know, all these acquisitions of all these studios. It takes a damn long time to make all these games. But if 2023 comes without, you know, a slate of at least like 3 big time game releases actually hitting, then I think we'd see a lot of disappointment there. And I think you can count on Redfall and Starfield obviously for that. But I want to see what else is there. What else is 2023 going to be a year where you have like 5 or 6 games potentially? If they hit that, or at least the one a quarter, that'd be massive. You know, if they hit the one every quarter of every 3 months, have that big title, then also you have all of this other stuff that we're all content with, the indies and the double A's.
You also have to remember that this is just kind of affects the community that's like actually like focused on this, but like casuals, they don't care. Like they probably don't even know that Redfall was coming out or delayed. So it's like,
well, but those games are heavily marketed, and I think they draw people into the ecosystem, right? Whether like they are actually following those games ahead of time, those are the games that they find out about and hear about that gets them like later, like, oh,
yeah,
what's
I'm just
that?
saying that's the majority of people. So that's like where they're getting their money from. Like,
that makes sense.
You know, if the whole delay with the Bethesda games with Redfall and Starfield was just a one-off thing, then it would make sense that you would have like 4 games for next year, because then the games that were supposed to come out next year was still, if they long as they don't get delayed, then you know you're gonna have at least those 2 games that got pushed the next year, and then those 2023 games. Like I think Hellblade 2 seems like something that probably would be one of those titles, as well as Avowed, since there's been a lot of talk that Avowed is at least on schedule. I think a lot of the, whether it's justified or not, the narrative around Xbox first party is that there is a stigma of is management really have a handle on all this, because when they just had 5 studios, they had like pipeline issues, development issues of getting games out in a consistent manner. Now you've got 20 plus. Like there's I think justifiably the question of, can you handle all this, because you couldn't handle 4 times less that amount. And understand that you got Bethesda managing them themselves, as they should, because it's like they've been doing that for forever. But Bad Booty's got a lot on his plate. I mean, he's got 15 studios to make sure that they are hitting deadlines, that that he's making sure that internal issues aren't becoming cancerous issues that are hindering production. Which, you know, what was also unfortunate in this first half of the year is that we got the news of Undead Labs, even though that seems to have been addressed. The initiative, which seems to be kind of coming to being addressed, since Crystal Dynamics is definitely taking over more of the development of that game. But like all of that stuff was just back to back, and it's just it creates this perception that, what are you guys doing? Like, are the inmates fronting the asylum? And then you see delays, and it's just like it all kind of runs together. So I think for next year, they gotta make sure that they're on top of their game, that they can dispel that narrative before it becomes a permanent perception of your brand. Because I've always said this about PS Now, and Sony kept trying to make changes to PS Now, and I was just like, you're wasting your time, because PS Now got its reputation almost a decade ago. It's a trash cloud service, even though the majority of the games at one point became downloadable, even though they cut the price in half, even though they started putting games in it the way Game Pass gets games in it. People just looked at it as that's that trash cloud service. So when your brand gets a bad name, you don't want it to fester. You want to try to dispel that as quickly as possible, because at some point you could do all the work in the world, you can make it an amazing product, and it's just like, like the people that you're actually marketing at to just go, yeah, but you're that trash service, or you don't get games out on time. It's just like,
well, that kind of still exists for Xbox too, Slow-Mo, with the whole last gen thing still getting past that, even with all the acquisitions, all the games in development, all the things, all the projects we know about, everything that's being thrown into Game Pass, all of this stuff that they're doing, it still is out there with this the casual crowd that doesn't really follow as much. Just like Xbox doesn't have anything to play. That's what.
That's you still hear. Xbox got no games, even though that was accurate for 2017.
Yeah,
but it's not really accurate for 2022. No. Every time there's a drought, that's what you're going to hear until you actually consistently forgive it. Like I would say 2 years. If 2 years of them consistently dropping massive content, and let some game in there beat some massive banger that everybody's just like, I need to go get me an Xbox Series S, just at least an S, just to play that one game. Like until they do that, like that little tagline's always going to be hanging over their head until they finally do that.
Well, I feel like
Xbox,
Game
I think
Pass
it was just out of their control this year. Like with Stalker 2, that's out of their control.
Yeah.
With COVID, that's out of their control. So
absolutely.
I think it was just coincidence that all these things kind of hit this year, and it was out of their control. That's all they could do. Is just shit.
But it falls back on that other old narrative of Halo, Gears, and Forza. Although Gears is absent at the moment, primarily because they're
for the time being, but there's a lot of rumors
else
around that. Coming up with that Phoenix collection, and it was going to be interesting. Think about this hypothetically, right? What if they don't have any other surprises for the end of this year, right? You have a Phoenix collection hit this year. You have Halo Season 3 hit, and finally Halo is the complete experience that everybody hoped for day one, because you have Forge, you'll have campaign co-op by that point, and all this stuff. And then you also have Forza Motorsport hit 2022. Again, so you could have a holiday potentially, and also Horizon DLC, right?
Right.
So you could have another holiday potentially this year that will be predominantly Halo, Forza, and Gears, right? And now I'm not complaining about that. I feel like, okay, fine. You know what I mean? But also maybe Age of Empires makes an appearance on console.
That has to.
I think that will be under I feel like that game could do better than people realize. Age of Empires is a huge franchise. I think a lot of people will choose to play potentially on an Xbox, even to give it a shot, because it's in Game Pass day one, a huge title. So there's still a good chance that like a very successful holiday for Xbox, but nothing like they could have had with Starfield, right? So
that's the whole thing, man. Because Starfield and Redfall, we always throw Redfall out of the way, just like we talked about. But Redfall was going to be big too, I think too, because I'm a huge Arcane fan. But those two were going to mark the start of the new Xbox era. Right? In a lot of ways, those two were set up this year to finally end that narrative, right? To finally put that to bed and say, that's it. It's over. We are now here. This is the new Xbox. From here on out, this is it. And that's the biggest disappointment, because that narrative, like we just talked about, the way things are shaping up could potentially still be there this year. And we have to sit by and say, yep, that's true. It's still, Forza, Halo, and Gears carrying Xbox at this point. And that's the biggest disappointment. But the good thing is, to Slow-Mo's point, is that with Game Pass, with the investments they've made into those studios, if they can hit, gamers have the shortest term memories of all time. We all as gamers agree. And if next year they have 4 to 5 of those studios actually produce, and all those games are, and again, we don't care about Metacritic, but I'm talking about the wider audience out there. If the Metacritic scores are all mid 80s to 90s on all of those games next year, and they're all in Game Pass day and date, that will change the narrative. Gamers will forget very quickly because that hype around all of those games will be there, and that's all that's going to be talked about from that point on, right? And I think that can erase a lot of this very quickly. Now we got to get to that point, and there's still a lot of questions. Yeah, but and Xbox side of thing has been patient for years upon years, which is the hardest thing. And the Sony side of things, the people who like to play in the console wars have had free run and just been able to say whatever they want to say. So that's the hardest part. But outside of this community, that word's going to spread fast once those games do hit next year. And I think that will help Xbox not fall into that PS Now trap that Slow-Mo was talking about, which is a very valid point, because you do wind up having those stigmas stick to you longer than you ever would want, even if they're not true anymore. And I think Xbox has a big chance next year to erase them, though, because big AAA home runs that are scoring well, that are the talk of the media, that are the talk of the gaming community, will make a lot of people forget those very fast, I think.
And
so
they'll still say Xbox is shit.
Yeah, but
absolutely, yeah. But that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
It won't have as much of an impact when people are sitting there playing the damn games that are on Xbox, right? So,
but they still, like, all these people think it's Xbox fighting. No, it's PlayStation guys that have got Xbox gamer tags that are fighting this shit. It's not real.
It was a lot of disingenuous BS out there for sure.
Yeah,
right.
It was. It was always like, you just got to take Twitter with a pinch of salt. Play games, not Twitter.
Yeah, 100%. Real quick, I want to run through some of these events for this year that also happened, right? Just to put this into perspective, because it's been a crazy ass year. So Take-Two Interactive back in January announced its intent to acquire Zynga for $12.7 billion. Tencent completed its $1.3 billion acquisition of Sumo Group. Microsoft in January announced that it would be acquiring Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. Followed by Sony announcing that it would be acquiring Bungie for $3.6 billion. Then you had the New York Times going by Wordle. They had to get mixed up in there.
Jesus.
A focus.
I still say that game would have been fantastic for Game Pass, by the way. I still said that. I said it kind of as a joke, but man, had Microsoft made the play and gotten Wordle for Game Pass, it would have been pretty cool, especially for mobile side of things. That's just me.
Focus Entertainment acquired a Liker studio. I'm not familiar with them. Nacon announced its intent to acquire Daedalic Entertainment. Tencent announced the acquisition of Inflection Studios, developers of some game called Nightingale. I think that game kind of stood out at one of the showcases that we had seen. Wow, Nintendo actually had made an announcement acquisition of SRD. Then Tencent again with another acquisition of 1C Entertainment. Netflix announced its intent to acquire Finnish video game developer Next Games for $72 million. Epic Games buys Bandcamp. This is crazy. Atari completed acquisition of online video games database Moby Games for $1.5 million. Atari is making acquisitions still, I guess. That's weird. Embracer Group with Dark Horse Media acquisition. Sony acquires Haven Studios. It's crazy. Then we have another Netflix mobile game developer, buys another mobile game developer, Boss Fight Entertainment. Beamdog acquired by Aspire. Then you have Embracer Group and acquiring Square Enix Europe, pretty much, as Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal. Wow. Then you have the first union in video game history. in the video game industry formed by Raven Software. That's all. I mean, that's
Actually, you forgot one, son.
so. What is it? What did I forget?
NetEase acquired Quantic Dream.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's not on this. Hey, blame Wikipedia. Go edit the Wikipedia real quick, Jasper. Mr. Actually.
And actually put actually in Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Like,
please.
actually.
Please do. But that's pretty crazy, right? For 6 months of activity.
That's pretty wild. Acquisition season is in full effect.
Yeah, and wait,
And
and
it ain't
there's
done yet.
Sony just said they're not finished. Also, recently.
Yep, and EA was very close to being purchased. I mean,
Yeah.
that deal fell through last minute, according to a lot of
We know
reports,
from
so.
journalists, Ubisoft is looking for investment groups. We got EA looking to merge with somebody. You got WB games potentially being sold off either individually or as a whole from the new WB Discovery Group. Interesting time, man. It's crazy, and that's been dominating a lot. A lot of all this movement's been dominating a lot of the news, right? But it's be crazy to see what all goes down in June to the end of this year. Once that Activision Blizzard deal goes through, I think Xbox's handcuffs are going to be lifted off of them a little bit, and we'll see if they get back in the mix for some of these other things. And regardless, though, I just freaking cannot wait for this showcase, dude, because I feel like out of any year, I do not know what the hell to expect. And that has me more excited than anything. You know what I mean? Hype level right now?
I actually have I have a couple of predictions.
Okay.
We talk about these acquisitions. I got two. Well, one, shout out to King David, because me and King David came up with this like joint theory about those studios that Square Enix that Embracer Group bought from Square
I know what
Enix.
you're talking
It's,
about.
yeah, so this is the theory, right? Microsoft's got their hands tied with this Activision deal with the FTC. They start acquiring more people. The FTC is like, see, I knew it. I knew y'all was out here trying to buy the whole industry. So instead of doing that, they go to Embracer Group, was like, hey, look, can you hold this for me?
Mm-hmm.
And then once this deal is
Embracer
done,
Group is a holdings
I'll
company
make it
now.
good for you.
A holding
I'm
tank,
gonna make
yes.
it good for you, okay? 10% over whatever you paid, 15%, whatever, it doesn't matter. I got money. So like when Activision deal is done, they're gonna go to Embracer, them 3 studios, that's gonna be theirs. Because like they already got Crystal Dynamics working, I mean, primarily doing almost all the work on Perfect Dark Remake. I mean, if the game hits really well, we're gonna say, well, thanks a lot. We'll go get someone else to do the sequel. No, you're probably gonna want Crystal Dynamics to do the sequel too. Why not have them actually be one of your studios by then? You know, so that's my first theory. If that works, I'm telling you, I'm all over Twitter. I'm telling everybody I'm slow motion Damas, right? The other one I think is about Sony. I think Sony's going to acquire a publisher before this year is out, and I'm thinking it's either going to be Square Enix or Sega.
Okay.
I would prefer Sega so I can see Everborn Saga's head explode. but
Sonic become a PlayStation exclusive. But I don't know if these
Shout out
publisher
to
deals
Everborn.
going forward, if there's going to be a lot of like unknown IP that's we're all familiar with become exclusive, right? Like because if Xbox feet are held to that fire with Activision Blizzard, it could be kind of industry changing with where the consolidation's going. And we've seen a lot of PlayStation talk about like they're going multi-platform, you know, PC they won and all this kind of stuff. And we already know the Bungie games. They've already said that even their new franchise are in the works on is going to be multi-plat and come to everything as well. They've already stated that in their Q&A on their website. So with all of these things going on, it seems like the industry is changing to be more like across the board, you know, more IPs crossing the trenches, you know, from different publishers. And it's going to be interesting to see like if these other publishers do go to other platform holders, what all games become multi-plat in the future, right? I think Bethesda ZeniMax was like the first one, and it's kind of like, you know, different. But
if you compare it to like movies and stuff, like Halo's exclusive to Paramount. You don't get Halo on Netflix and HBO. It's exclusive to Paramount. So why make games multi-plat. You just make them exclusive to your service.
Because
like,
I think with like one thing is sales wise, right? Like streaming, you're like making a deal for that. There's no selling of the title, right? So you're getting the money from like Netflix, right? But like for Xbox, if you're making Call of Duty, you can get your Game Pass subscription because people still get the value there, right? Money, so because they're getting the game for way cheaper, they're not having to pay for it. Plus, you also get the sales of the other platforms, right? And on a game that's so well known. Bungie's already said that they're doing that with their ongoing games, and I think it works really well for these games as service type games because the wider net you cast, the more revenue stream is going to be coming in as well. For games that are more like single player focused and like really narrow focused and narrative driven and stuff, it could be used more as marketing to draw people into the brand. But like for like these other games, like PlayStation just said that they're like having 2 more live service games potentially releasing by the end of this year, right?
Yeah.
And like those types of games, like they're potentially going to be hitting PC sooner than the rest of their type of games, right? Maybe the whole mobile thing they're going with as well. Because of the FTC and the DOJ whole thing with Activision Blizzard right now, Xbox getting ahead of that. I think that has industry changing implications, right? To where any publishers acquired in the future, might not do that. Whereas right now, Sony can go and do timed exclusive deals left and right if they want, which is they're doing. Like, this was told to be one of their methods that they were going to be utilizing going into this generation. It's turning out to be true, right? A lot of rumors are that Street Fighter is going to be PlayStation exclusive again. We already know about Final Fantasy. You have other games like Forspoken and these other things, right? Where that's kind of leading them right now to fill in those gaps between their first party, But if they acquire those publishers, I'm wondering if that would ring true if the FTC ends up requiring certain stipulations. You know what I mean? So it's a very interesting thing to think about. Like, I don't wonder if there's going to be some kind of precedent set with the Activision Blizzard deal. Because like at that point, if they require one company to do things a certain way, then what's the difference between a PlayStation acquiring a big publisher and a Nintendo or whoever? You know what I mean?
But wouldn't the FTC have to pass some law? Well, wouldn't Congress have to pass some laws or something in order to
I would,
the FTC to be because wasn't Senator Warren the one? I know a lot of people got upset at her for speaking about the deal.
Yeah,
but what she was really kind of doing, it was promoting a bill that they had put forth where they wanted the FTC to kind of look into more than just whether this could be a potential monopoly in a particular market, or whether, like, instead of just considering what this acquisition would do to the market, consider what it does to the people inside the company as far as business practices. A lot of the shenanigans that was going on at Activision Blizzard, is Microsoft in a position to actually deal with those things and stop that out, that kind of stuff, labor issues basically. Correct. But like none of that can be considered for this particular acquisition at this moment because it's nothing that is official. So
they could do it because they can do whatever the hell they want, but Microsoft can then takes them to court if they block it and says you guys have no rights to block it based upon that because the law is not written based upon what you're telling us we aren't going to be able to do for the employees, right? It's only supposed to be consumer based right now. That's all it's supposed to be.
Yeah. But then you also do see them already trying to get ahead of even that narrative, saying that they're going to support the Raven QA union. Right? And they'll recognize it after the acquisition goes through, right? So they kind of even because before he was like, I don't really know a lot about unions. We have to look into that. And now he's coming out and be like, yeah, we've looked into it. Yeah, we'll definitely recognize them when they come aboard, right?
You're like, whatever, sure, yeah. Just keep this going, okay?
Yeah, 100%. They want this thing to close, man.
End of this year.
I mean, they got ahead of the whole Call of Duty thing by saying that the Call of Duty thing will stay multi-platform. They want this deal done. you know.
Yeah.
But if that's a stipulation, a
I don't think
concession
they
that's
ever
forced
cared for
upon
COD,
them.
honestly.
No, they didn't. I really
I don't
don't.
think
I'm
this
in
deal
the
was
same
about
boat.
COD at all. Yeah, I think
No.
this deal was about King and mobile,
Yeah.
and them being
And
bigger
Blizzard.
in markets and
PC.
Blizzard. Yeah,
Yep.
them being bigger in markets where they have either very little presence or almost no presence. COD, they knew that deal. Look, in order for them to acquire them, they had to do an exchanging of information. They had to know everything that was about those contracts already. They know exactly how long Sony's exclusive deal is with COD as far as for new maps or time exclusive stuff on content and the marketing and all that stuff. They knew exactly how long all that was, and they still wouldn't acquire them. They don't care that COD
could you
is.
since you bought them, could you just be like, we're actually Activision 2 now, so we have to redo an entire contract? It's a new company.
They
It's like,
can't until they officially sign the paperwork. But once they sign the paperwork, they can buy out the contract. But I don't think they would want to bother doing that. Like for the most part,
I'm just thinking if you change the company's name, it's technically a new company now, and you'd have to redo all those contracts. So you could just not sign it again.
You still have to honor the existing contract, even when you do a name change.
Yeah.
Like if it's already on the books, then that name change only affects current things moving forward. But any existing, it's almost like if you file for bankruptcy or if you had an extend like a debt or something like that you owed, just because you change the name doesn't make that go away. It still has to be honored. It's just a matter of you can buy out the contract, close it out, but then if there's a stipulation for penalties, then you pay those penalties. So
Right.
Yeah.
And Xbox has been
honestly,
known to not break the contracts, but they could at some point,
They could, but like Slow-Mo says, I just think they don't care. They see the bigger picture. This deal is bigger than most people see it as. And again, for them to give in on, again, Satya came out and said, well, we don't believe that we're going to have to give any concessions to get this deal to go through. Well, yeah, because you're giving all the concessions up front because you don't care. And I don't think for them that's what is the important thing. I think Slow-Mo is spot on. I've been on board with that for a long time. Now, the one part of COD that they probably do care about is the mobile. COD mobile is huge, and they probably do care about that. And Warzone, right? Yeah. Those are the two big ones. But again, they never had any plans, I don't think, to make them exclusive or even thought about it, especially if they're going to give COD the break that we all think it's going to go to a 2 to 3 year period. COD becomes less important as an exclusive anyways. It's still huge, but it's already going to be associated with Xbox through Game Pass. So it doesn't matter.
You just keep the Warzone content coming, but then you have the mainline franchise distance out a little bit more and come out some new damn games from Activision. It'd be nice to see.
But Blizzard and King, I think, are the big two that they want, because Blizzard will, if they can revive Blizzard, and it looks like the Blizzard has already found a kind of like a new hope over there. I think that gives them the huge presence in PC that they have desired, like we were talking about earlier with Battle.net, and they can fix a lot of their issues that they've had on the PC side of things just by having Blizzard underneath the umbrella. And I think that's what their plan is. And then King is going to make their way into the mobile market in a big way. So it's a gigantic deal, and people just don't understand. We all see COD because COD's the easiest thing to see and look at, right? But we don't see all the rest, and that's what Xbox and Satya and Phil are all looking at right now. And that's why I think they're just going to give in. They're just going to be like, yeah, no, that's why they're out here in public. No, we're good. We're good. We're the good guys. Whatever you guys want to do. You guys want unions? Go for it. We're cool. Let's do this. They just want it done by this year if they can.
Yeah, I think, and also I would just want to say real quick on the Sony side of things, I think Sony sees the writing on the wall when it comes to COD. When you're not getting another deal after this deal. And that's an IP that is every year annually is the #1 sold game on your platform. This is why we see them double downing and investing in like studios like Deviation Games, Firewalk Studios that have brand new studios that are working on live service first person shooter games for them, but also they have a pedigree and have previously worked at Activision before, Bungie on Destiny, games like that. They're trying to find an alternative revenue stream that's all theirs, so that when this deal is up, they don't have to worry about the fact that 70% of the revenue being generated by the #1 game on your platform is going to your main competition.
Slow-mo over $500 million last year from COD alone for Sony.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want that to be the deal. They want another game up there close to the top that they can say, hey, look, we got our own COD here, which more than likely is not going to happen from any of these brand new studios. But
Ubisoft's been struggling with that, so good luck, Sony.
Right.
Shout out to Forte. Hit us with a $5 super chat.
Messy.
It says the deal with ABK has a better chance of going through than Sony giving a release date for God of War. Just dropping a hand grenade on the conversation. I appreciate you.
There is no bet because he doesn't want to bet me anymore because he knows.
I thought you guys had one in advance.
Right.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
This is the whole timeline on DPS. Like for the majority of this year, he has been like, God of War Ragnarok's not coming out this year, and I'm like, it's coming out this year. We've been arguing back and forth. He's like, bet me, Slow-Mo, bet me. He's coming up with all these crazy scenarios, right? Accessibility's trailer comes out.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a little quiet.
Yep.
I'm like, why come out with accessibility trailer
exactly.
when a game that's not coming out in 2022? I don't see a release date. Okay. We get the game's rated in Korea now.
Yep.
Forte, what do you gotta say about that? I don't see a release date. So.
I've been on the train since I saw the gameplay reveal of God of War Ragnarok. I've been saying it's coming 2022. You know, I don't think that. I mean, this is not a knock on the game, right? But when I saw the game, I was like, "There's no reason for me to think that that's not possible to hit by the end of 2022, right?" Like, I think that it was originally intended to be before then. It was already delayed. We know that already. You know, for me, like release dates, a lot of times aren't given until a few months before, and that's also traditionally what PlayStation does as well. So I wouldn't necessarily expect a release date until maybe like a state of play that they come out with maybe in August, and where they drop the date, right? And maybe September or early October. Something like that for God of War.
And if you've been watching Twitter too, there's been a lot of contractors whose contracts are up over at Sony Santa Monica leaving.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of people that's done. They're done. They don't not need it anymore.
My work on this contract is done. I think it's an awesome game. You hope you guys enjoy. This is like that's like the tweet you see over and over and over again.
Yep. There's been a lot leaving
here.
Wait, what if you get a release date at Keely's show?
Hey, we could very well could. I think we'll get a release date in July, and I think it'll come out in like September. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I think by August we'll have a release date.
I still want 11/11/22.
I kind of want that old school Sony energy as well.
I still want it.
You just want to see the messiness, Pong? Are you like you want to see the world burn? Is that what? Like,
yeah. I think it's good for Xbox to get that sucker punched every once in a while by Sony to remind them that they're still there, right? I still like that. Again, for no other reason than just that. I still think it's good for Xbox.
Yeah.
I think it would be great.
What if Gears of War Phoenix Collection comes out on the... Okay, so what if God of War waits for the announcement of a Phoenix Collection release date and they drop on that date? So you can have both GAOs come out at the same time.
GAOs? G-O-Ws. I don't care. Whatever they want to do. I want old. I still like petty Sony every once in a while showing up. I still like them. So it's fun. Now that we don't get the E3s back to back like we used to, that we don't have that going on, I still like to see it happen every once in a while. So this is a perfect opportunity for them to do it.
Well, 2022, fun so far. Lots more fun to be had. Next week, we'll probably start getting into more speculation on the showcase. Maybe those be a little bit of news to talk about. And we're gonna have a lot of fun leading up. Again, we got a lot of stuff coming for that whole week of freaking showcases now. It's turned out to be a pretty damn busy week. But I want to say thanks to the chat again. You guys freaking rock always. I'm probably gonna be playing some Sniper Elite 5 tonight. I don't know who else is gonna be playing, but gonna be looking forward to that. Slow-Mo, hey, tell everybody where they can find you, sir, about the DPS podcast and about your slanderous co-host, Gaming Forte.
Shout out to him. That's the homie. That's my brother there. Slow-Mo, I want to say thank you for inviting me once again. I had a great time. I didn't see that side of Lupa before. I was very shocked. To
Oh,
see
Lupa's
that.
very feisty.
awesome
All you gotta do
passion.
is play a few rounds of Halo with her, and she will call you every name under the sun.
It was great. I freaking loved it. It was a great show. You guys can find me on my channel, Slow-Mo Backslap, by the same name. I do a couple of things. I actually do some reviews from time to time on games. I do opinionated thought pieces like why black hair in video games looks so trash all the time. And I also like to go live during lunchtime and just play games and talk with people. I call that lunchtime with Slow-Mo. And then on Thursday nights, every other Thursday on my channel, Thursday nights is Damage Per Second podcast with the homie Gaming Forte, who is usually wrong about his God of War takes, but it is what it is. We have a great time though. It's awesome. Come on through, check the channel out. Also on the Thursdays, not on my channel, it's on his channel. Then you could also catch me on the Ash and Lucas channel on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern for Scumcast. We have a great time there. It's a little bit more laid back. It's we talk some gaming, then we also talk some other like random social topics, and then Luca yells and screams at people for
shout out to Luca. Luca's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Right on, man. I appreciate you. And then first in my heart, lovely wife Caitlin, as always, thanks for everything. Amazing thumbnail again for the show, and appreciate everything you do to help get the stuff set up behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know, like, you're pretty much doing everything to set up the shows now, ahead of time. So appreciate that. But where can everybody find you, babe?
You can find me on Twitter at CaitlynXO615 and on TikTok at Caitlyn_fancy. I just hit 13K, so yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome, babe.
Congrats.
Thank you, Slow-Mo, for coming on. And again, happy birthday.
No problem.
Long.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's his birthday. Again. Hey,
just another day. Just another day.
So I will say one thing before we get the rest of the I was surprised how much you like Sniper Elite, babe. Like, what is it about it that you like?
I think it's the stealth aspect that I like about it, because like when I play Fortnite and stuff, I'm kind of more like chicken shit, and I like to kind of like sit back, and kind of creep around.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I like about this.
Mav, it sounds like you might have another budding Splinter Cell fan in the family.
We'll see. She used to watch me play Splinter Cell a lot, but I think maybe when this remake comes out, maybe I'll be able to actually get her to dive in for the first time.
For sure.
Especially if there's like a playable Sarah Fisher, right? We could have a Sam and a Sarah, but then we'll be like father and daughter. That'd be a little weird because we're married in real life. So like maybe we okay, you call me daddy every once in a while anyway, right? So it's
You're Zaddy.
All right. The always fuzzy Belvedere. Thanks for being here as always, man. Now part of the family here. Love that you're able to hop onto the show every week. It seems like now. So whenever you're free, obviously, and just like everybody here, part of Fun Spec fam, you just hop in when you're available. So thanks for being here, dude.
Greatly appreciate you welcoming me into the family, the Fun Speculation family, and it was awesome having Slow-Mo on here tonight, and always love being on here with you guys and just chatting games. And thanks to the chat for joining us tonight, and it's awesome just being here, and looking forward to June 12th, man. I'm knock on wood, was lucky enough to get the on-site viewing thing or whatever you want to call that, but man, oh man, can't wait. But for anybody out there that wants to hear my ramblings on gaming, just follow me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on the Shop Podcast, 9 p.m. tomorrow night with PTK Blam and Pong, on Monday on FSP at 10 p.m. on this same channel with Mav, 3-Bit, Psychonauts, and Jasper. And then next Thursday, it'll be Breakfast with Boone on 10 a.m. with Mr. Boomstick, John Wolf, Web Dave, Dreadpool, and sometimes Big Cloud on there. And then on Friday, you can find me here again on Xbox Ultimate with you guys. Look forward to next week.
Awesome, man. And extraordinary AssassinLupa. Appreciate you always being here as well. The feisty one, it seems, from time to time. the gatekeeper. I'm just kidding.
That's not happening. I'm no gatekeeper.
No, I know. I'm just
telling
messing
how
with
it
you.
is
Yes.
from my heart.
Passionate. Lupa is always passionate, for sure.
Passionate about gaming. No, thank you very much, Slow Mo, for being here. It's been awesome to podcast with you for the first time. Really loved it. Chat,
Hey, no
you've
problem.
been fantastic. It's really great to have chats.
Oh my god.
What the hell? Get rid of that quick.
Yeah, it's gone.
Wow.
Christ.
People are sick, man. Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, getting back to it. Sorry. Yeah, it's been great chat. You've been fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Love being with my fam here every Friday. And you can find me right here on Xbox Ultimate on Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK time. You can find me on Thursday nights with KY Bob and Power Man on Game Set Live, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK time. As gone American now. No. And you can also find me on Sundays with Axel and the crew keeping New Seat warm on Good Morning Xbox at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UK time. I got a thing about 9 p.m.s and 2 p.m.s. I don't know. Anyway, you can find me there and also on Twitter at AssassinLupa and Xbox Party Live if you want a game, because that's what I do, baby. A game. So come game with me and we'll have some fun and I'll catch you all gaming.
Heck yeah. Thanks, Lupa, as always. Now, the Encyclopedia of Gaming, dating back to the very first game ever created.
Usually Pong's
Time to have a
last.
break.
You want me to do Pong
Yeah,
last?
usually Pong's last.
Okay, we'll do Pong's last. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay. Lore Master, Jasper himself, the realist. Where can everybody find you, bro?
You can find me on Halo. Oh my god!
Here we go again. Oh shit! Oh my god! There's two of them.
Brother, what are you doing here?
Brother, which one's the real Craig?
Oh no!
I don't know.
Oh, that's the one's the real one. Who's this other imposter? Who's this guy?
I don't know who that is.
They're multiplying. Oh no!
Is this a glitch?
God, we're all going to be freaking Craig next week.
Is this a bug or something?
I'm here for a special reason.
Um,
Someone's birthday.
But we can't sing it, brother.
We have to sing. Maybe everybody can help us.
maybe so, but we have to change up the lyrics a little bit accordingly to the copyright laws or something like that.
Oh no!
Happy
what?
birthday, Long John.
$700.
Well, hey, can we get one or both of you to
Craig,
read
you
this?
must have $700. You're famous.
Can we get one of these Craigs to read the super chat real quick, please?
No.
Another amazing. Can Craig read? Does Craig read? I don't know if Craig reads either.
$2 super
I
chat.
think Craig's got he's an alien.
Oh, guys, ladies, guests, cup of drink.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thanks for the $2 super chat, Vic the Click. All right, so like you want to do like just some kind of birthday song here for Pong Soul?
What? I thought of something.
Okay.
It's the cha-cha version.
Okay.
Is that copyright?
I don't know.
Go for it.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday to you, Pong. Cha cha cha.
Somebody got to clip this.
Pong. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha.
Yay!
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Appreciate
Amazing.
it.
was it?
Did you have one better? Craig 2.0? Is this like the improved Craig on the top or like?
I don't know.
I'm the real Craig.
The textures look the same.
What's the respect in my name?
I'm the real Craig.
I'm confused. I don't know who's real. Like,
What on
Are
earth
you
do you
real?
mean, Mika? You saying I look like Craig?
What?
That's fucking rude.
Whoa.
who said that?
He said, "Is that Lupa's sister?"
Oh,
Fuck. Okay.
Oh man.
Oh man, Micah.
That's
You're
just
in hot
rude.
water now.
Oh no.
Oh man.
I think he's talking about my voice.
Oh, with the accent?
Oh.
Okay. That sound like that noise. I think I might just jack in podcasting now then. Fuck that.
All right. So, Craig's, thank you for hanging out. Hey, top Craig, where can we find Jasper? You know?
Why do I have to be the bottom?
You can find Jasper.
Oh my god.
You can find Jasper. What am I doing, Craig? You can find Jasper at
Chuck E. Cheese is for his birthday party this weekend. Everybody in his class is invited.
Lord Jasper on Twitter, Lord Master Jasper on YouTube.
You don't look old enough to have a bloody law.
You're not a lore or a master of anything. Jesus.
I'm the master of your mother last night on an Xbox.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Are you sitting on a telephone book right now?
I think it's way after his bloody bedtime. I know that.
It's only 11:30.
It's summer. It's summertime.
I'm a 26-year-old dude. Gosh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know about that. He don't look no different to me.
No.
Anyway,
Same baby face cheeks.
Lord Jasper on Twitter, Lord Master Jasper on YouTube, FSP Monday 10, Fun Pop Wednesday 10 o'clock now. Wednesday Fun Pop and Xbox Ultimate Fridays.
Did you like
You've been taking
Obi-Wan?
those,
I mean,
Yeah, Obi-Wan was good. Yeah, real good.
You've been taking those injections to make your voice deeper.
Oh my god.
No, I've went through puberty. Gosh.
Oh boy. Well,
okay.
when you get to 60, you're gonna love the way you look.
Yeah, to get that smooth skin.
Is this Men's
Yeah.
Warehouse?
Is this Men's Warehouse?
No, this
You're
is
gonna
Baby
love
Gap.
the way you look.
Men's Warehouse.
Have you done a Men's Warehouse commercial before, Craig? I guarantee it. Right on. Now, Pong Soul, Encyclopedia of Gaming, dating back to the first game ever created. Happy birthday, cha cha cha. Where can everybody find you on all in the multiverse of podcasting?
Buckle up, slow-mo. It's time for the world's longest outro. Hey, listen, yeah. Hey, look, family, thank you all for giving me a great birthday night. It was awesome to be here. Chat, you as well. Thank you all. Man, just awesome. Again, no matter what, if it's my birthday, it's just another day now at this point. But anyways, it was just fantastic to spend a Friday night with all of you. I'm glad I could be here. And Slow-Mo, obviously, again, man, honored to be podcasting with you. Always love your thoughts, man, and we'll love what you Forte and the rest of the crew always do on all your shows as well. So thank you for being here tonight and spending it with us. This was amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. It's well deserved. And look, you can find me, Pong Soul, Xbox. You can find me, Pong Soul, on Twitter, as you all know by now. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, it's Living Split Screen. So get those alarms set now so you don't miss it. You can show up 2 hours and we're still going to be going. My brother from Another Steel Rain and I go 3+ hours. We've been going 4 at this point, 4.5 hours for a lot of our shows. So just show up when you can. Even if you wake up late and you say, oh, I must have missed Living Split Screen. Guess you probably didn't, right? So just show up there, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. BST time, UK time, however you want to say it. Be there, bring a friend, tell a friend, because we're on mission 1K. We want to hit 1K. Living Split Screen, all one word. Be there tomorrow morning, live, raw, and uncut, as Steel always says. We will be there ready to rock and roll. And then tomorrow night, like Fuzzy said, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. Great way to end your Saturday night. Me, Fuzzy, PTK, we're going to be rocking out 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Be there, be ready for just great discussion. And now PTK opens up the last hour of the show for questions from the chat. So that gets really, really interesting. And it's always a fun time there. And then, of course, Tuesday's Xbox Factor podcast, when I can. Double Barrel Gaming is a channel. Mr. Boomstick is the man, one of the best in the business. You know it. I know it. So be there. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Mav, Boxenberger, VJ, N64 Josh. Look, just show up. It's a great time. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Xbox Factor podcast Tuesdays. Thursday night, right back here. That's right. PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM. 2-man show. Sometimes we have guests. But man, we are building something special on Thursday nights as well. Join the community. We have a great time. We get the chat involved. It's me and Mav just breaking down topics. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Be there as well. Otherwise, always remember, this is the golden age of gaming, people. No matter where you play, no matter how you play, no matter what you're playing, this is the best time ever to be a gamer. Get hyped, get excited, share it. Don't let those energy demons steal it. Just be yourself and be the gamer that you are. So get out there, play something this weekend, play what you love what you play. For those of us with long weekends, enjoy that as well, that extra day. But I love you all. Much respect, and I'll talk to you all real soon.
I feel inspired.
Where can everybody find you, kind sir?
Right here, fun speculation on YouTube. Hit the notification bell, share out, hit the like button. Appreciate everybody for tuning in every week to all the crazy shows that we're trying to do here on the channel, as well as Twitter, fun speculation. You can find all the updates on when we're going live, all that kind of fun stuff as well. Probably gonna be playing some Sniper Elite here in a little bit. Game streams galore here on the channel as well. Just come hang out, have a good time. We just like to hang out and shoot the shit with the chat and play some damn games and talk games. That's what we like to do here, and I appreciate everybody taking part in that. Appreciate all the support from everybody taking part in the chat as well. Just like freaking engaged. Love it. I love seeing all the people talking about the discussions that we got going on. That's how we know we got real people watching the show. You know what I mean? That means a lot to me. So appreciate everybody here, and I hope you have a fantastic day. We're gonna be live for FSP on Monday, and then Wednesday for Fun Pop, Thursday PM in the PM, Friday for Xbox Ultimate, and can't wait for that week in June. We're gonna have a blast. 10 episodes away from 100 on here, so we're gonna try and come up with some fun things for that as well. And see you everybody again. Take it easy. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Later.